Okay, let's see if this works second time around. Should be live. I just hope CS doesn't die. Morning, boys. Okay. Take two. Man. Okay, so working now. This should be fine. I'll use this. Maybe it makes it easier. And let's say okay. FaZe versus Immortals. What is that background? I linked it in the chat, but I tweeted it out yesterday, but as a reply to myself, so you have to like go to my Twitter page. Oh fucking hell. I have to restart the game. I can't if I just alt tab, the stream will lag. So remove slow mode. There we go. It did get a bit crazy yesterday, so yeah, let's just start this right back up. You change the NVIDIA 3D settings. I just turn off vertical sync, put prefer maximum performance on the GPU thing, and I put the like single monitor setup. That's pretty much it. How's it going? It's alright. I'm a bit hungover, that's probably why I sound like shit. Okay, so let's try and do the thing where while I'm doing the game, you guys ask me mostly about the game, and then like I'll answer other questions between maps and like after at the end of the stream as well. I mean, after I do all the games. So Mirage, I feel like it's been a lot of the same maps. You know, a lot of Mirage, a lot of Overpass. So I removed the names. I think it's like cleaner this way. So yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. Like I'll repeat it for the new guys. You can see like again the CTs with 2 smokes, flashes, and everything. Like this is the most common setup. Like you see it all the time in pistol rounds, and the reason is because like in general, no matter what the map, you want to try and get close range in the pistol round ST because, you know, and swarm the CTs with Glocks because they are much more powerful like close range and when you have like multiple people running at you. Because if you just spread around and go for long range, that's where the USPs have the advantage. So this is the setup that, who used it yesterday? Dignitas used it in their game on Mirage. So it's a bit different. It's something you wouldn't expect when you're playing T-side for the CTs to be that up close. So yeah. Oh, change the crosshair. That's probably a good idea. I don't even know why. I think I started using this color way like a long time ago, because I thought that you couldn't really see. I couldn't really see properly with like green. I felt like on some maps I couldn't see like the crosshair because of the background, and like there's no purple shit anywhere. So what thickness? Yeah, this should be better now. Yeah, so that's the goal. So let's see. I think this will come down to whether they like manage to hit their shots or not, like Bolts and Lucas. They're just waiting for a smoke, pretty much. Oh, they actually smoke off CT. They don't smoke the stairs. I can see how everyone's like jumping with the Glocks. That's simply because you want to like make it more difficult for the CTs to one tap you, pretty much. And you just want to gain ground as T. It doesn't matter if like you die at some point as the first or the second guy, because you know 4 or 5 people running together, you're gonna get the kill eventually. Did they watch the game live? Nope. I mean, not this one. Yeah, that's so weird. Like that cache out of so many times, you don't see it like at all. I think it was like in the Immortals Vegas Squadron game or something like that. Okay, what? He actually wins the 1v2. Oh, that's BM. HP 100. Okay. Why does Alu peek? Where's the plant? There's no reason for him to peek, because like there's no way Kiyoshima can go for the same peek, like they can double peek the CT player here, so he basically gives him a 1v1 duel, and then Kiyoshima is like can't fall back, can't play for time, he's basically stuck here. So yeah, that was a mistake in my opinion. Maybe miscommunication, maybe Alu like thought that he can peek together with him. So yeah, feel like they should have won that one. Okay, let's fast forward the anti-eco. Fuck that. Let's move this over here. So FaZe can buy because they had the plant, and Immortals survived with 4 people, no bomb plant for FaZe in the second round, but they still like have 1 mag 7 and 1 UMP. So they decide to go for aggression straight up. Okay. That was a bit awkward, but you feel like KZ shouldn't have gotten a single kill, but it's a nice idea from FaZe. They just throw the top mid smoke, send AZ by himself, and he bought a Tech 9. So that he could have more nades, I think. And they have like 3 players going A apps to just go for a contact expo play on A, which is something you don't expect coming from apps. Usually people do it from ramp. So like the main thing is just get the CT players towards mid, and then you probably have just one guy playing passive A, and you just have to trade with him and you can get the bomb down, and then you can play the after plant. So fortunately, like AZ even got a kill, and Rain got the entry kill, so they got control of the whole bomb site and could like push further in because Immortals were occupied on mid. I mean, it's not a bad call from them either. Like first gun round, let's start with some aggression, and they just should have gotten the kill on AZ without losing anyone. But he made a good play from like the smoke. So yeah, first gun round goes to FaZe. They even have a lot of people surviving. Immortals save 2 guns. So they have like M4s, 1 UMP. What's that? That's not a good smoke. So yeah, I mean, this gives info to Immortals, but doesn't mean all that much at the moment, because they're putting pressure on B. At this point, you kind of figure that they're in a passive default, or maybe because you only see Kyoshima on the map, maybe you think they're going for a execute. So yeah, this is the window smoke. Missed again, of course. 2 smokes missed already, but yeah, still no one's peeking, so that's going for them. Yeah, this is also a bit... I mean, you don't... The thing is, if you don't check that spot, then, I mean, you need to have a player top mid so that, you know, he can cover you. This way you just walk out and think that no one will be looking at underpass. That's a bit reckless. So they lose a man. FaZe is still lurking around the smokes here in connector. Seems like they're just like they're just challenging for no reason, pretty much. Let's see. Okay, he just got fucking wrecked by Rain. Nothing you can do about that one. But yeah, that's what you get. I mean, that's the problem. That's why you see more people play for the retake and don't have anyone close by, or certainly not just one player, because, you know, once they know your position, it's hard for you to stay alive without support from your teammates. And like Bolt just got wrecked, and he was only watching apps for him, and it's a question whether he gets that kill before Lucas dies. So yeah, it's in a sense perhaps even easier for you to do a retake than to just hold A aggressively. That's why, like, as I said, people mostly play like 3 mid around this area, 1 passive A and 1 on B. So yeah, another gun round win for FaZe. I think this is where like Immortals just eco. There's like, you eco here because you can't like reset FaZe anymore. You look at their money, they have like 5, 6, 7k, and you know, you don't even have like enough to force with some rifles. You have to buy pistols, so you just like, you try with Phelps and Steel. Maybe you send them together somewhere and try to make get an early advantage, but maybe you just play it like, put them on the same bomb site like on B and hope maybe FaZe goes there. If not, try to get some exit kills just so you can like pressure their economy a little bit. I didn't watch the game, Derpy, so I'm not sure. I'll tell you once the game is over. So yeah, FaZe again, default, getting mid control, smoking off window, deep connector smoke as well. Pretty standard stuff. Probably trying to figure out where the rifles are. And I mean, they're doing a good job of not like sending people like 1 by 1 to places to get picked off by the rifles. And as I say that, Phelps finds the kill on AZ. But I mean, they at least go for the B split together, right? So they can do a good job of trading even if they run into the rifle. Fucking hell, what's going on? Get him. How does Steel get all these kills? Really? Feels like they just ran out and were like, FaZe didn't expect them to be that aggressive, perhaps. So Kerrigan is low, but what about the rest? Yeah, that was like pretty good round for Steel. Rain, like, Kerrigan was low, so he had to take an off angle. Al was like staying short. Maybe he should have been a bit more aggressive towards B because no one was covering Rain while he was planting the bomb. Like, and Kyoshima was struggling with Phelps. If Kyoshima gets that kill earlier, then he can rotate towards like B apps and provide cover for the rest of his team. So a sequence of unfortunate situations for FaZe, and they lose actually the anti-eco. I mean, versus 2 guns as well, but yeah. They still have a lot of money, so they can rebuy. Going for the default again. This is a bit risky for Alu, because if they're pushing mid, he can just get wrecked. But yeah. Op on Henny as well for the first time. Where is he? Wow. I mean, that's a bit cocky, especially because he has no cover for himself in overpass. What he likes to do is overpass, underpass. He smokes underpass for himself, but it's kind of a one-way smoke, and then he just like watches top mid from there. So after that, yeah, Rain is just fucking beasting on them. Like, he gets the kill on the guy who is all the way back CT. Like, he did that from apps in the first gun round, second gun round, now from ramp as well. So yeah, the problem with that play from Henny is he's exposed to multiple. I mean, even if he gets the 1 kill on mid, where does he go? Does he jump back into window? Because if there are 2 players on top mid, he can get traded as well. So that feels like, sure, you want to like go for a pick with the AWP, but it just feels like something that it's almost impossible to get better than a 1-for-1 trade. If they have multiple people there, if it's just one guy, then sure, but you know, who sends just one guy mid if they go for like map control? Only if you get lucky and they're like trying to fake mid control. So yeah, maybe a bit over aggressive. And now they decide to force because they have money for an op and 2 rifles. I guess, you know, you have teams whenever they have money for an op, they will buy up. Like Navi, for example, if Guardian has enough money to buy an op, especially on the CT side, they will force because he is like so good at creating openings for the team. I don't think FaZe expects this. Perhaps they do because they lost an eco, but oh, this is not a good smoke. Bit of play around the smoke. Yeah, it's just like, this is the problem. You look at this round and you feel like FaZe did nothing and somehow they still win the round. It's like, what's going on? Okay, let's wait if they actually win the round. Now they're at a disadvantage actually. Problem is Alo is so far behind. But Kyo doesn't have a smoke. I feel like he needs to risk it and go for the bomb while the smoke is there, because if, you know, he doesn't get it, he's not getting it at all. And this is, I think this is a mistake from Lucas. Why are you peeking aggressively or like holding? I mean, this is not a super aggressive angle, but if he peeks you, you can't run. Why don't you just hide and then play it as a team? You have the advantage, you know where the bomb is. You know, if you hear the plan, that means one player is, you know, occupied with the bomb, even if he's faking. So then you can all peek together and either kill him or kill his teammate. This way he just like, they just had a 2v2 and no one else was CT, so they could like plan safely as well. So you feel like it's just a bit reckless, basically. Not like a huge mistake, not like a very dumb play, but you just feel like he's not thinking it through, right? He's not thinking like, is this actually the best position I can take considering the situation, right? If you're like 3v4 or, you know, sure, or maybe if you're even 3v3 perhaps, and you need to like be a bit more aggressive to get an advantage for your team. But yeah, what I was gonna say is, that's why it's so simple, like FaZe going for contact plays, but it's the structure of the map. Once you have Kerrigan here, and like he can put pressure for mid, especially after he gets the kill, it's so easy for you to just run out and basically trade on the A bomb side, because they have to worry about multiple, you know, angles where they're gonna get shot from, and they don't even have an ideal buy. So yeah, they just like peek together. Even if they like lose a person, it's for sure that they're gonna get the trade kill. So yeah. So now Immortals actually eco. I don't think they're gonna win this round, so let's fast forward it. Bolt saves the AK. They lose the op. Nuke, because it's like a best, you can have 5 vetoes, and when you have 5 vetoes, it's pretty much like there's not that many nuke teams as of yet. So most of the teams just don't want to risk it on nuke. Like in this qualifier, only Dignitas and NIP are willing to play nuke, I feel like. And even those teams would perhaps, if they're not playing a team that they know is like shit on nuke, they would also probably prefer playing on our map. Actually, no, they would probably like go for nuke over everything, because they're like 2 of the best nuke teams in the world, pretty much. Okay, so another gun round. Lucas again with the UMP. You see more and more players go for this, especially like this is what he's gonna do, play close range with the UMP so he can buy all the nades. But you see that they've been giving up mid a lot, and FaZe, you know, has been sneaking up mid the previous round with just with Kerrigan, this round with 2 players as well. So yeah. The only problem was the bomb was mid, so he's like going back because it's safer to go ramp than to try and enter connector. Yeah. So yeah, that could have been a bit dangerous. They should know that Henny is A as well. That's the problem. Like, I don't know if this is FaZe like doing their homework and figuring out how Immortals like to hold, or is it just like making a good call, because Immortals, like, it seems like when they don't have an op on Henny, they really struggle with holding mid, and they aren't sure how to do it with rifles unless they go for a push mid aggressively. So they had no one, like, you can't allow that to happen. You can't have no one like anywhere on mid to even get info, because this is what can happen to you. Players just sneak in, they're like, oh, no contact, let's just go for it, let's try and get a pick, and they like kill Bolts, who is like jumping around, doesn't even think that it's a possibility. So feels like Immortals have been losing these rounds very cheaply, like, so far. I mean, they won the pistol round, that was a 1v2 from Steel, then another good round from Steel when they were like on an eco but had 2 guns saved, and they win an anti-eco, and those are like the 3 rounds for Immortals. So definitely being outplayed by FaZe at the moment. And FaZe again going like for this, oh yeah, this is an eco round, fuck it. So now they have Henny with the op again. The one time he had an op, he went for that like ultra aggressive play, didn't work out, so looks like he's gonna go either connector or towards the A apps now. And also a good thing for FaZe is they didn't like do anything special, right? It's not like they used one of their 6 strats or something like that to win a round. So they're 7-3 up and can still like, they haven't shown much to be countered by Immortals. I mean, this is just fucking Steel winning rounds for Immortals on the CT side. I think he had a good pop flash here. Let's check it out, because everyone was blind. So yeah, now FaZe, like, you know, Immortals playing CT side, they can't be like, okay guys, they're doing like this, so let's counter them, because it hasn't been much. The only thing they could do is, you know, something that they would have done regardless of what FaZe has been doing, right? Like, be aggressive in A apps with the op, try and push ramp with 2 players, something like that. That was just like sick timing on the flash. Yeah, good stuff. It was an interesting idea from FaZe to go for the B split like that, with having 3 players B and just 1 going cat. I mean, the thought process is probably just like, draw attention from the B player towards Cat if you can as well, and then they just overwhelm him from B apps. Usually you have more than one player Cat so that you can trade, right? Because if you only have one guy and he dies, then you lose all pressure from that side. The Cat player can just focus on B, and this is a sick crossfire. It's very hard to get inside B if both like Cat player and B player are focused on apartment. So not sure if it was miscommunication. Maybe one player was supposed to go Cat, but he fucked up. But yeah, good round from Steel. Yeah, Kerrigan is known to do a lot of homework. Yeah, nobody anti-flash, but it's like they just ran through a smoke, so it's a bit difficult to do it in the heat of the moment. This is good from Immortals. Like, going for... This is the type of aggression that can work out no matter, you know, even if you're not sure what the T's are doing, because you're just going for that play, right? With two guys, you're going for the trade. So yeah, good switch up from Immortals. They get the early advantage. They have a lot of information as well. So yeah, they should be rotating an extra player. This is where FaZe just, like, again, Rain goes by himself. Feel like, I mean, Still has nowhere to go, so he just gets, they check the spot and he dies. Like, this is where AZ needs to make a play, basically, try and kill the Cat player or something like that, because his team is trapped a little bit. So he dies to bolts, and okay, they let them plant the bomb. Not a good flash, but still gets the kill. Yeah. So you feel like, I mean, Steel is stuck here, so he can't go anywhere. Even though ideally he would like to be in a more passive spot, because, you know, they have a man advantage and information, no need for him to do anything. I feel that maybe what they should have just tried to do is like flash for him so he could peek, and then if he doesn't see anyone, he can fall back. So yeah, interesting. Like I mean, actually, yeah, good call from FaZe. They take a timeout. They have money, but the Immortals won 2 rounds in a row. They are getting some momentum, so you want to stop that. I think timeouts really are like good now to be used like this when the other team gets rolling a little bit. I mentioned it yesterday, like in basketball, right? You take a timeout when the enemy team, even if they have like, you know, when they have like a sick play, someone dunks over your player or some shit, you take a timeout to calm things down. I think it like works most of the time. Ah, FaZe's connector smoke failed because it hit Henny. Yeah, but in the end it was just the one guy, and he even managed to get the kill. So I feel like, you know, it's been like, that didn't lose FaZe the round, I think. Maybe in terms of info. So yeah, another FaZe goes back to the default, because they've been, I mean, one round they went for a fast split, then they lost to some aggression, so now they want to like calm things down a little bit, not get picked off at the beginning of the round. Hen is still with the op. So yeah, this is a good setup as well. This is an off angle, you won't expect it coming out of overpass. Overpass, why I keep saying overpass? Underpass. And Henny is watching top mid for him, so he can just... The problem is if they get unlucky and Henny like kills a guy but needs to fall back or misses a shot, then Phelps needs to turn towards mid, and if they pick underpass, then he's fucked. But yeah, B execute for FaZe. Oh no, it's a fake. It's actually a fake, but this setup was great to counter that. So yeah, seems like it's gonna be up to Rain. Whoop. You see, this is what FaZe was missing without Kerrigan. You would never see them go for a play like this. You know, have an elaborate strategy like this. I'll break it down a little bit after the round ends. And this is also like... Okay, Henny's holding it with the op, so it's fine. That was like the most important jump ever. Leg shots, gotta love those. So Kia is super low, and they know that. Yeah, still with a very patient play. So now he has to wait for his teammate. Let's see what Alu... Feels like Alu clutches. No, he can't. Yeah. So, right, what happens here is... So they play slow so that they don't lose map control, they don't get picked off. I did tweet the wallpaper yesterday. It's a reply to my own tweet, so just go to my Twitter and check the replies. So, yeah, they have people towards B, then they like throw the smokes to deny vision and everything, flashes, molotovs, and then they go towards connector, and they had one player, I think one player apps, one player ramp. So, and they leave Alu in B. So the goal was to plant for short and then have Alu delayed, like similar to what you guys saw from Tai Lu. They just went for a straight A execute, but they're like doing a B fake into a fucking, you know, plant for short. Like, that's an insane round. That's a very good round, but it was the setup from Immortals that basically shut them down, not just because they got a kill, but because they got an early read on what was going to happen. So FaZe even throws this smoke, which is like so that they can't get shot from ticket. If you have like an AWPer or even a rifle around the firebox or ticket or something, it's like almost impossible to trade with that guy. You basically need to have your AWPer holding that angle all the time while your like teammates are pushing towards the site. So that was a very, very cool round from FaZe. You know, they did get the bomb plant on B, so but they lose out the 2v2. Didn't really have good positions in the end. So actually Immortals win their third round in a row. And this was, you know, the first round almost where you feel like, okay, the second round. This is where Immortals are actually playing like better on the CT side, right? So because of the plant and the fact that they won a lot of rounds together previously, FaZe can buy again. But Immortals have all they need as well. This is like what you mean when you say a full buy. Any gun you want, all the nades you want, so you are free to do whatever you want. And this is like an interesting, this is also something that teams should do more. This was done like more on Mirage before when people didn't throw the top mid smoke as much, but through the window smoke. You just boost the AWPer through ladder towards Cat because that's the fastest way for him to get there if he doesn't go for the jump. Maybe even faster than the jump, I'm not sure. And you don't expect ST to have a player on Cat, especially with the AWP that soon in the round. So yeah, a cool way to change things up and surprise the T's. But he doesn't find anything. So yeah, just throws the molly. Hopes to catch someone. Wide peeking, but it's not gonna happen. So FaZe like just go towards mid. They see the CT smoke in connector, so they're like, no need for us to push while that's there. Let's just wait up. And now they throw like again the window smoke, top mid smoke. So they still need to like deal with Henny somehow. It seems like Alu's just going for a peek. This is what I hate about the game. Like, this has something to do with like angles and shit, but I just feel it shouldn't happen that like Alu is able to see Henny and Henny's not able to see him. Yeah. And one more thing, this is what I talked about yesterday. Let's just see, I don't think he... Fucking hell. Let me... How many clutches is still going to win? This is insane. I mean... A bit reckless from Rain, but I guess they just weren't expecting him to be there. And actually what lost him the round isn't this in the end. It's the fact that they didn't have anyone in A apps if they want to go for a split like this towards A, right? Because Immortals had two players here, and it's very hard to trade with them from these positions because they can just keep re-peeking and shit. So that's why this guy from apps, his only purpose is to get good timing when his team pushes the site and trade. And they actually lost 3 players to the 2 of Immortals when they were like, because of that. I feel like if they have a guy in A, they maybe just lose one player and that's it. And they like realize Rain has been trying to go for dry peaks a lot, so they sent Henny there to wait for him, gets an easy kill. Phelps actually manages to fall back. Do they hear this? Maybe they heard it. So yeah, they're just getting like picked apart right now, even with position. Didn't have too many nades in this round, so yeah, I mean there were a lot of clutches, but I don't know. Yeah, still definitely carried in this half. You feel like, I feel like even though there were like clutches in this like second part of the game, of the half, Immortals did play better on the CT side, so still a very good half for FaZe, considering they lost the pistol round as well. 7 rounds on the T side, not too shabby. Especially for a team like FaZe, who has like so many good individual players that like you know, they're probably going to have strong CT sides as well. Why is this paused? Okay, so early aggression from FaZe in the pistol. Seems like Immortals want to like wrap with connector. Oh. Get fucked. You see, this is the problem. This is what I was talking about yesterday as well. Even though, like, the idea is pretty cool from Immortals, like, smoke here, so they think you're going for the same old execute, but you actually have 2 players from Underpass who are going to, like, backstab them in connector. Not really sure what Bolts was supposed to do. I feel like there's no need for him to be there. Maybe just hold for a flank. But the problem is, like, when you're so spread out, if the player holding CT gets, like, the first kill on the guy coming out ramp, or kill on one of the 2 guys, it's very hard for you to actually get to the bomb site. You know, it's you are very reliant on either like really surprising them, or just not like them not hitting the first shot. That's why most of the time, still, even though it's a bit predictable, teams just go for same pistols and group up with Glocks. So yeah, if they like don't die to, if AZ dies, I mean, they even Alu spotted them from here, so like the jig was up pretty early on for Immortals. Okay, fuck the force buy. Fuck the eco. Did they plant? They didn't. Oh, they planted in the 3rd round. Okay. So FaZe had a lot of guys surviving. The plant lets Henny buy like a full op with head armor. Yeah, it's funny that people call that strat the tie loose strat, because they weren't the first one to do it. It's just been a long time since anyone did it. I think the first time I saw it was VP, but VP did it in a force buy where they sent Pasha there with a scout. Okay. This is the thing, like, these are all, like, in my opinion, just small mistakes. Like, why, you know, you peek dry mid. Why isn't there a molly in connector? Why, like, isn't there a flash? What if a player is there? You just hope he's not there. So you just die cheaply for no reason, pretty much. And then Alu repeaks for no reason. I mean, on one hand, when you have like such a good player, you want to let him do whatever he wants, and you know, he's good at being aggressive, but he just got a free kill, and you feel like perhaps he should just fall back and play that advantage. But you know, it always, like, it's great like when it works, it's like brilliant. When it doesn't work, it's easy like to judge. Kerrigan gets a kill through the smoke. Yeah. So AZ is in window. This is like, you know, Rain by himself in sandwich. This is actually a good spot when you're just against 3 players and you know that someone is in mid as well. Can probably get at least 1 kill. Get fucked. Maybe should have just asked for a flash, but there was no one close by really. Oh god. That would have been so unlucky if he died to the guy from ramp, because he was looking at that spot for like a minute. So Immortals claw their way back. You feel like perhaps AZ shouldn't have been that passive in window. Like, he really left Rain by himself on an island, you know. In a 4v3, sure, you have a man up, but if, you know, FaZe was like doing nothing, so it was almost a 3v3 with 2 players on B. Do I think Mouse can beat Immortals? I think they can. You know, it would have been way tougher for them to play OpTic than it is Immortals, because if they have like a good game individually, they can still like win. Does he get this? No. Thoughts on Rain? At the moment, I think it's like the same as, I think it's just a solid player in general. Doesn't like overextend too much, doesn't make silly mistakes. I don't think Mouse like deserve, I don't think they're a good team enough at the moment to qualify, but I think they can qualify because they've been having some lucky matchups. Like, I think they can, I don't think Immortals are, you know, that strong of a team that you can say that they're like, that they can easily beat Mouse. Especially if Mouse starts playing well individually, with like, especially Nico and Chris J, you know. So yeah, another like push mid from Immortals with no smoke. I'm not sure what, like, are they trying to, you know, maybe they don't think Alu's gonna be there. Maybe they don't think he has enough money for an op. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not really sure why you go for that. Why just try peek instead of like throwing a smoke? Oh, he gets that kill. That's very big. They left the bomb behind though. You need the bomb, boys. You need the bomb to win the round, and they're probably gonna lose it because of that. They need to give away control of A to get the bomb, but they might get lucky and get B for free. So yeah, a couple of like, I don't know, like why isn't there a smoke top mid or a smoke window or something, or a good pop flash, you know? It's not that easy to trade with that player in window. It's possibly even easier for him to re-peek and get the kill. Yeah, so Kerrigan actually like does figure it out. Do I think NIP will make it? I think so. Yeah. So you just feel like, you know, they haven't been doing a good enough job in their like defaults. You know, that they haven't been taking the precautions not to get picked off by Alu. So they force up. I mean, they force up. They lost all of their players, so they didn't have a good buy. So then they force, lose a round, then they eco. I mean, it's a bit unlucky for them because out of the 6 rounds, they lost pistol, 2 ecos, and 2 force buys. They only have like one good gun round, which they won, and then they have a weak bye because they lost all their players here, and then they lose that as well. But I mean, that's what happens when you force. If you don't force and you actually eco, then you'll have more money for gun rounds, obviously. So that's like the long-term effect of force buying. So now they throw like their shit, and they didn't get picked off yet. Alu doesn't have an op either. So yeah, Easy was throwing the flash and takes a lot of damage there. So FaZe loses mid control, but they don't get control anywhere else as of yet. I mean, Kerrigan is a bit aggressive in B, but nothing that can give him like some sick info. So this is where if Immortals just like went for an A split with connector, you feel like they have a very good chance of winning the round. Will you be doing GODSENT HR game? I think so. I forgot about that game, and it was on train, so I guess better to do that than Mouse Sports Tyloo, because that game was like very one-sided. Like, this is a way better position from Rain than what Lucas had in that one round when he was on the default spot. I'll explain it. Just let's see how the round ends. Nice pop flash. I mean, doesn't flash the guy he was peeking, but flashes still a little bit who's supposed to cover bolts. So yeah, this is like a way better decision is to hide here, because like it's difficult for them to check it when they like push late into the round. They have to check other spots first, and you're almost guaranteed to get like one kill from there, or even like win the round if it's like really late in the round and you kill the planter or something. So yeah, pretty difficult. You thought like FaZe was gonna lose that round, but it seems like Immortals just took a little bit too long, and that allowed like for FaZe to rotate towards A in time and like have enough players there to defend. Why does Kerrigan leave AKs? I don't know. I guess it's preference. I mean, it worked out for him when they... Okay, it's like fast-paced... Oh yeah, this is another... Like, maybe he does it because you saw in that round where I think it was Steel who like tried to pressure B and just threw a smoke at the exit. Is like... so he can span through the smoke, and because of the silencer, they don't know where he is exactly, so he can't get shot back. I mean, it's not as easy for the T to spray him through the smoke. You know, not as safe. So maybe that's one of the reasons. Okay. And like another buy round. This is like the third proper buy round for Immortals, and they're losing 15-9 already. So you feel like, you know, oh, the Kerrigan special, the auto sniper. You feel like, you know, they were a bit unlucky with the fact that they got reset, but I mean, they also forced really a lot. If we're going to smoke window, does it make sense to smoke high mid smoke? It does, because it prevents other angles as well. Like, it's not as easy to get shot from connector or from cat if you throw the top mid smoke properly. So usually teams smoke top mid, molly connector, then they smoke window and deep connector when they go for mid control. That's how it goes. Yeah, so this was just like try to do something on A from Immortals, and they have majority of players in apps. They were like lucky that no one was in B. The player was in cat, so they could get control of the site, and then it's like difficult to retake if you're not there like in time. Envy Tyloo, I think Envy. So Henny actually like gets the auto sniper. I think this is not a good call. I don't think like the only way it's useful is in after plant. I think. Because I don't know. It takes a lot of time to fire the 2 shots. Again, these are like small reckless plays, I feel. You know, you're pushing cat, but you don't have a good smoking connector. And no one's covering you either. The problem is like the guy that was A actually just died. And then they could get into the site. So basically they win like almost a 2v5 round. Let's see that again. Who was that? I think like maybe he just got wrecked the same like way Bolts did by Rain. And he had no armor. What? That doesn't seem like a smart decision. Sometimes people just forget, which is like very weird, but you know. Oh, fucking demos. It seems like it takes way longer to rewind it after it, when it's like... oh, and I don't do it properly. Does this work? No, I fucked up now. Don't skip this round. Okay, spoilers. But how did he not have money if he had an auto sniper? That means he either picked it up or was dropped the auto sniper. So if he had a gun, then he had like 3k, the round win bonus. Oh, he dropped an AK. But you don't drop an AK if you don't have money for armor and you play an auto sniper. You drop like a fucking... Oh god, no. How does... Fuck you. Okay. Yeah, you drop something else. There's no point in dropping if you're not gonna have armor. I mean... Come on, game. This is so painful to watch, like to wait. Okay, this is actually not bad. Fast forward this. So who was it? Please don't tell me it was Rain. He's like the smart guy. Yeah, it wasn't really a mistake because initially he like... I mean, he died very, very quickly after they got the advantage, so he didn't really have time to fall back. And he just got wrecked by Steel, so... Yeah, the problem is after that, they lose all pressure from CT, from this side. So Immortals have enough time to like push and they can both focus on like connector and stuff. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. Okay, don't skip this round, let's see what happens. The round forward button, yeah. The problem is I just like want to switch to, you know, 10 seconds earlier and I think... But it's just better to go to the beginning of the round and fast forward to the moment. Okay. I mean, this should still be like Immortals round. Just go B. Run. Run B with your teammate. Go, 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 go. You have the bomb. Go. Run the fuck away. That's taking too long. They're gonna be in underpass waiting for you now. Why are you just... So what, he's gonna wait all, like, for Steel to do something? Ugh. Hello. Yep. I don't know. This game feels like Immortals are fucking... I don't know. Asleep still or some shit. Drunk. I have no idea. Like, so many weird small mistakes. It's like... One of them being that you go close range, like with players by themselves against pistols. You don't want to do that. You don't want to spread around against pistols. Group up. Don't go places where they will have the advantage, close range. And then it's like, from that 3v3, it's just like, why are you lingering around so much? Just go with the bomb. Like, carrying the bomb is a big responsibility, boys. Like, you need to know how to do your shit. You need to realize that one of the ways of winning the round is planting the bomb and then it explodes. So if Henny was like just, you know, more, like if he was faster on going towards B or just like going away from mid because he was trapped here, you know, you should just risk it and try to go, and then Phelps can cover you a little bit. And then maybe they get into B and perhaps that way they win the round. Like this way, you saw what happened. They were like waiting for Steel to make a play, but he was too far back. FaZe overwhelms them on mid, and even Alu like gets, you know, a good read, goes through underpass and just waits for him there. So yeah, feels like Immortals just made too many small mistakes in this game, while FaZe on the other hand played like super solid. So yeah. FaZe is looking like really good at the moment. I think they're gonna be one of the like contenders for the major probably, once they have time to practice and all of that. I don't think I had to quit the game, but never mind. I did anyway. So, oh yeah, let me check if I downloaded the Hellraisers demo actually. I think I did. Yeah. So let's do that game now. Let me just go grab some more water. Be right back. OpTic versus Hellraisers. I like how Hellraisers are playing. I just feel like OpTic is too good at the moment. Okay, let's start this shit. Oh, alright. Do you think Liquid and Flipside will lose their legend spot? Yes. Background image, you have it on my Twitter, but you have to go to like tweets with replies because I replied to myself with the link. I really should put this in the config. Why are NIP so bad in this qualifier? I don't think they're like super bad. They had that very close game against Hellraisers, and that was like more Hellraisers playing like really well than it was NIP playing like shit. Honestly, I think the problem with them is like that they've been playing a lot of overpass, and on overpass they are like, I think they are not as versatile on their CT side. They like are too passive in my opinion. And then they had to play OpTic, who's just a very strong team, and on overpass where they have these flaws. So also against OpTic they lost so many like clutches. So I don't think they've been playing bad. That's why I think they will qualify like regardless. You still doing mouse? I'll see. Maybe I like do their game tomorrow because they're gonna have like interesting games. Holy shit, just like send 4 players towards B. Why not? Oh, Bondic. Yeah. I don't think you can link stuff. And I can't alt tab now, so I just forgot to put it in the fucking on the Twitch page. So yeah, I'll do it. I should have done it after this game. Oh, butt clenching 1v1. That was an interesting pistol round because, like, you think, wow, you sent 4 players B, what if they go A? But the thought process is 2 players are pushing and 2 players are far back. So if they go A, you have people fast on the flank. The only thing is you probably need a good pop flash for ladder. And the other thing is if they actually go B, you have fucking 4 players there. So no one expects that as well. After you kill the 2 players pushing and perhaps even a 3rd player up high, at least the 4th player can do a lot of damage in the end. So JW with the armor, but that Fox has a smoke and a kit. Is this one of those rounds again? Great round for JW. Perhaps the only mistake from Hellraisers was when they were in a 2v1. Like, why is Bondic like moving around here? He has no idea where JW can be. I mean, in terms of this area. So he just gives away a kill for nothing, and that Fox is not in a position to help him out at all. So yeah, close round either way. Yeah, JW playing way better now. Seems like the whole team is. Before it was just Flasha having good games, now they're all playing better. Oh yeah, force buy. Fuck it. Just save some time. Oh fucking hell. Let's rewatch it then. Do I have to click this twice? Yes. Okay, so let's see what happens. Feels like they will spread around too much and just get tagged by the scout 10 times. It's simple, Radar. As in simple the player. Okay, so initially they're just waiting around for someone to push, that's fine. You shouldn't really just spend too much time on this, because you might be in a position where by the time you actually go, get map control, and when you want to execute, you have like 20-30 seconds left, which might not be enough time. I mean, not enough time if something goes wrong, like your bomb dies and then someone has to go back, pick it up. So he hears him, he knows he's out. Or he should know. You see, they're waiting for so long, and now they're going yard. So how did they lose this? They don't even have a kit. Oh shit. Yeah. That's the problem, right? That's why I think you should, if you're gonna go for that, just use a lot of utility. Wow, that was a loud sound. I don't even know what happened. This is donation. It should show up on stream, but the stream is delayed for me a lot, so thanks for whatever just happened. Oh, do I get a notification? Oh, I do. Thanks for the donation. This is how it works. Yeah, so it's much better to like buy SMGs, buy a lot of utility, so you can like smoke off stuff and molly it off. That way you don't get tagged as much by the scout or die to the deagles. You know, they threw one molly here, and I don't know if they threw a smoke for connector, and that's it. But going that late into the round, you feel pressured for time, so teams just feel like, let's just go out together. Let's like, you know, we just need to go. We can't spend more time throwing nades and shit. So yeah, I feel like there's a better way to play that round. Sure, you can still win it if they don't get like 1 digs and stuff. But yeah. Always sucks to lose the second round. So they force back after this. And Hellraisers again playing like proactive CS. You know, this is like a good play, nothing. What? He got tagged by his own teammate. Don't spam, like I'll answer your question. Not if you spam though. YRM is so bad, I think that they're just not like as a team, they're not in a good spot, I feel like. They have trust issues, perhaps. I don't think they're on the same page as a team. And that's a huge issue, because there's so many good teams at the moment that it's like... you know, it's not as easy to just like, because you have skilled players, just keep beating everyone. And that's what they used to do before. I mean, this is the problem with like B site in general on train, right? That's why you see more and more players on B just play passive for info, like Flasha does. I'm sure he's gonna do it on CT side. He plays like all the way back here. Sometimes like players like Taco, they play like close up until they like get contact and see someone, and then they like fall back and like just throw a molly, try to stay in a spot where they can get 1 kill and then stay alive. Because it's very hard on B, like I'll use this while the eco round's going on. It's very hard if you don't get like forward positioning somewhere, or like around oil train, or push all the way here, it's very hard to hold the site because you don't have many places to hide, right? It's only behind the trains here and perhaps in the site, and the CTs usually save utility for that, like mollies and stuff. So at that point you can only be higher or lower. Again, small choke points, easy to, you know, for someone to hold that while a person is defusing. So yeah, that's why you see most of the times when people go for a full execute, they have players pushing all the way towards the back of site, or they like save a lot of Molotovs and just throw the mollies on the bomb. But that happens when they like wait, when they do it really late into the round, because if you do it early, the CTs probably from A still have some smokes, and that can like fuck you up. So yeah, you think like, yeah, they get into a bomb site, it's like whatever, 3v3, 4v4, even a 4v3, but it's not as easy as it seems. You know, basically, what if you win a round and you're not pushing, it basically is because one of your players like, or you get like good peaks at the same time. You double peak and you get a couple of good kills with aim duels. That's probably the only way you can win the round. So another gun round for GODSENT. No op. Enough utility, maybe, you know, a bit less on JW and Flusha, but yeah. Spread around, taking control of holes. Like this is what you'll see most of the time. People, the T is getting control of holes, securing this, and putting pressure in Ivy. But the difference is usually they have more than one player on the T side. Teams like SK, teams like even Astralis, Navi, like the good train teams. Ivy is like where most of those teams like spend a lot of their utility and time and put a lot of pressure in the default, trying to get a pick as well. So yeah, Pronax in ladder room, it feels like they're just trying to feel things out at the moment, waiting for Pronax to make a call, waiting for the CTs to spend a bit more of their utility. I mean, they see him fall back, so maybe they start rotating. Seems like this is going to be a B fake. Okay, kill through a smoke, 0 no contact. They should know there's a fake. No reason for these players to move. Oh wow. Yeah, he feels he just wants to kill the planter because then they will win the round with the time running out. But I want to see how Bondik died, because he just died. Sticko, you saw, he was like a bit unlucky, gets the headshot but doesn't get a kill. So yeah, let's go to Bondik. Where is he? Okay. He did miss the spray a little bit, but it was a good reaction from Lecro. And then, like, you know, Zero just rotating, doesn't really expect someone perhaps to be on the train. And yeah, good wrap from... I mean, you look at it and you think the fake didn't really do much because player didn't move a lot. The players didn't move a lot. Oh, it was Peter. Thanks, Peter, who donated. Appreciate it, man. I only see it like now. Yeah, maybe Sticko moved a little bit, but you know, if Sticko gets that kill, you feel like Hellraisers win the round because he can then focus on mid and ladder room as well. So big round, Sticko now only with a 5-7. Still have an op on that Fox. Oh, how is that a miss? Oh, that's sick though. JW chases through their own molly to get the kill, because he knows that he can get there before that Fox can get away. So very, very good play from JW. And very important, one of the reasons perhaps that he goes for this is that he knows that if they buy, it's not going to be a super strong buy. So he knows like getting that kill on the Opper is like super important, even if he like kills him but gets traded or something. Or takes a lot of damage, for example. But still they lost 2 players, one to that Fox, one to Bondic. So 3v4. They have like someone snuck through, yeah, Lasha. I mean, that's like the problem with that position. Someone can like walk out lower, which is unlikely, but happens sometimes. So now they're in a like tough spot. I mean, actually they have a smoke, but Stico dies on the flank. So yeah. Now it has to be like a smoke diffuse. But Bondic doesn't even go for it. That's the thing, on the flank you feel like perhaps he should have waited more for his teammates to get like into contact. Because if there's no contact from his teammates, why there's no reason for someone not to watch this, you know? But maybe he felt both players were, or he got the call that both players were around side, so no need for him to wait in that case. So that's always like 50-50, you know, you go for it and like he might be there, he might not. 0 was low, so maybe he thought like he needs to be the one making the play for his team to win the round. So eco round. Oh, for fuck's sake. Will you share opinions about tonight's matches? Yeah, after I finish like doing the games. In the end. Should probably stick around for that. I was 100% yesterday. Okay, so they're on an eco. Don't even have any like nades. Or I mean armor. What? How? Okay, are they gonna boost? Yeah, that's a good call. Okay, that's a nice move. Maybe they think, maybe he just sticks it, they don't think he has the defuse. I feel like that's the way they win. Yeah, this is the second time like JW just gets wrecked by going all the way back in mid. The thing is, you feel like in a situation like this, when it was like 3v3 still and stuff, they should have been more aggressive, like challenged more, because the cities don't have armor except for Bondic, who was tagged a lot. So you have the advantage, even though they have a rifle as well. But yeah, I think that stuff like from Ali, those the boost and the extra kill after that made the difference. And Fnatic lost all the players who were like in forward position, so they had like 2 players split up far back, and then like the aim duel at 0-1 sealed the deal pretty much for them. So yeah, another loss to Pistols from GODSENT, and they just like explode towards B. What was this setup? Just see that again. Oh, I should probably like tweet. I should tweet in between maps that I'm starting like different things. Let's just do that real quick. Going over HR versus GODSENT on train now at Twitch TV. Maybe I don't misspell it now. YNkCSGO. Success. Fanatic? What? I said fanatic? I meant GODSENT. It's been a rough night, boys. Give me a break. Okay. The setup. Is this like intentional? I'm not even sure if this is intentional. I think it like they hold the same angle, but what if someone comes higher? I think they just need to smoke it off, and then it's like a cool thing, but they have like no one's watching lower. I don't know. It's interesting. Let's put it that way. But still, this should be like Hellraisers round, and looks like it will. Yeah. So that's the thing. The GODSENT lost the round when these players died. Like this guy and this guy. Like I was talking about. Like you need to like try and get players there and get a kill, because then it's much more difficult for CTs to clear all those spots and get to the actual bomb. But once those guys die, you lose all pressure, pretty much. Envy or Tyloo Envy. Personal goal to achieve in 2017 for CSGO. I'm not really sure. For 2016 it was like to do the finals of ESL 1 Cologne, and I did that. So we'll see. Didn't think about that yet. So yeah, the reason I'm watching this is I just wanted to see what execute they go for. I mean, which smokes they use, and they just go for the standard stuff. This is what teams do, like when they want to eco, they throw these smokes and they go for the plant, because it's like most of the times the CTs play passive because they don't wanna, you know, die to pistols close range. So you know, you throw the smokes everywhere and you get the bomb plant, and that way you get extra money. And if you're lucky, teams then like they flash through the smoke and then try to push with pistols. So if you get lucky, you might even like win the round with some Tech 9s and shit. So another gun round. I mean, GODSENT right now like paying the price for losing to pistols pretty much 2 times. That Fox Hellraisers in a good situation, have good bank, they have the op. Angel was trying to be more aggressive, but that's the thing nowadays, when the T's see this smoke, like they just start fucking spamming like crazy through it, and because you expect someone to try and lurk around it. So most of the times the CTs throw it when they just want to buy time, because they know the T's are gonna spend more time around that smoke. This is the problem with playing further back. Like once the smokes fall, they have no idea if someone is actually coming out. So they have to like throw the Molotovs, even though it's just like Flasha here. I mean, he was the only one peeking aggressively. But yeah, Bondic with an aggressive play towards mid. Because of all the stuff happening on B, he feels pressured. I mean, he feels like he can get an opening. But, you know, JW then catches Tico off guard in Ivy. 0 dies on B. And now they're like, keep pushing. They get the kill on Angel, who was tagged. Like the reaction from Bondic was good, like in a sense that, you know, a lot of stuff was happening on B. They didn't have info. They spent most of their utilities, so I'm gonna like, there's probably at least like at most one guy here, and he gets the kill. But then they like, JW was on this side and Sticko didn't know it, so he dies, and then Zero is like in the middle of nowhere. If you're gonna place that far back, you're not playing to like kill everyone, you're playing to survive and wait for your team. So yeah, small things, but it was good timing from Fnatic, like to push B when they did, because like Angel wanted to rotate, Zero was moving around as well. So now they have like more players towards Ivy. Dead Fox again being aggressive. This is difficult to do because what Flasha did, that's like the default for the T's, to throw that molly. Let's see how he got picked off. I think he was just like jumping around and JW got the kill. They really say Fnatic again. Fucking hell. I think it's because of like the players. Definitely not getting paid by Fnatic for this shit. Okay, yeah, so Flasha does that all the time. I mean, Flasha, like, this is like, you throw the flash, and then you throw the molly, and then you just wait around. So yeah, let's see what happens here. No X-ray. Oh, he saw the... Wow, that's a sick shot. You see, the problem with that is, you feel like... I think he should have had like a smoke or some shit. You feel like if your teammates are going to play close electric and close mid, right? That's where you're like, that's where your defense is strong on the outside, and it's hard for them to, like, they can't give you really support. That's where you feel like Sticko maybe should throw a smoke earlier, but let's see it from his perspective. Yeah, it's like he basically shoulder peeks but can't do anything. So yeah, and Fnatic like and GODSENT switch things up by going like fast Ivy with 3 people. They didn't do that before, so can't really hold it against them. Just a good call from GODSENT. GODSENT. Antico, fuck it. Fast forwarding Schneider. So yeah, you can see how important it is to win 2 consecutive rounds for Fnatic. That way they broke Hellraisers' money, and now 3 of the players will have M4, but not a lot of the nades, right? Bondic, Angel, and Sticko. Dead Fox has enough money for an op, which is like a good thing. So yeah, Fnatic can now rebuy multiple rounds, and why do I keep saying Fnatic? Why is this like... This is insane. GODSENT. Fucking hell. I need to like, I don't know, change the name of the players. So this time around JW gets picked off by Dead Fox. Did Flusha stay there from the start? Did he like get out early then just push aggressively? It's insane. Fucking Fnatic. I haven't even seen them play for like a month and keep saying their name. Oh, so it's actually like an execute. And he dies, and then what? Flusha just decides to run out. Yeah, he had good timing, and this smoke is like very important because I feel this was maybe some miscommunication from Hellraisers in a sense that Sticko didn't know that Flusha can get to that spot. He thought that someone was covering it, so yeah. still like a very weird round. Despite Hellraisers having like a man up, they lost some map control on yards, so, you know, have to worry about multiple angles. So Schneider is rotating all the way towards Ivy. But someone should, like, after this much time, probably watch out for that as well. You can see, like, even Zero is worried about what if he's flanking from B. They just both die at the same time, of course. Do I tell them to improve? I actually, like, I think I've only talked briefly to the devs when I was an observer. I really, like, where did I see them? Like, at Cologne, I was working at every game, so didn't have time, literally, to talk to them. And at Columbus, I don't think I even saw them. I just don't feel like... I feel like they wouldn't really... They don't... The stuff that I think should perhaps be changed, I don't think they agree with it, so... So that way, I don't think there's much point in me even talking to them. Yeah, JW has just like had some great openings. That round on Sticko and Ivy here, you can't really blame like Zero. Like, he's just shoulder peeking until he gets contact. Sometimes that's why you see players not even peek, but just use sound cues when they hear a flash or hear someone like drop down. That's when they throw a smoke, but you know, it's just like a very, very good shot from JW. Can't really blame Zero for that one. And you see how they immediately explode towards B, right? Because they know, like, most teams just have a single player there in the beginning and have, like, the rotator help A in case of an A rush. They can just, like, push towards the site. And a pretty easy round for GODSENT, not for Fnatic. So, yeah. So the last round, shit buy for Hellraisers. Why is he? Oh, he's spamming mid. Does he sees the barrel? Yeah. Let's watch JW. Okay, never mind, he falls back. So another default from GODSENT. Like, this is what you can do, just wait. When you know they're on a weak buy, wait a little bit, because they're kind of pressured to make a play. But just do it in a way where you don't get picked off. Like, where the chances are very slim, and if you die, there's someone there to trade. Because they don't have a lot of utility, they have to spend it early. So now you can go for whatever you want. You can see Hellraisers don't have a single nade left. And for them to win the round at this point, it has to be either like Dead Fox, like if they go outside and he gets like 3 or 4 kills, or them trying to make a play somewhere. Because just standing default with like this shit equipment and only 1 kit, it's probably not gonna go well for you. Morning. The devs communicate to pros. I think... I know that before they had like a forum and all that stuff, but it seems to have died down. I think like some players like have contacts with devs, so they like, or they just win the round by like getting close kills. Fucking hell. Yeah, so I think some pros like, you know, they know the email, so they send like stuff to emails and shit, but I'm not sure how effective it is. Why do you see pros constantly redraw their weapon? I don't know, I hate it, like when people like quick switch and they sometimes die because of it, or when they like pull out knives. I think it's a tick for most of the players, and something to perhaps like, you know, stay focused, because if you're just looking at your crosshair, you sometimes like lose focus. That's why you see some players move their crosshair around a little bit, just so that they like are 100% focused on that. I think Dosha is probably the player who redraws the most. Olaf and Dennis. I don't know. I haven't really paid that much attention to it. I do think Olaf is like more of an aggressive type of player than Dennis. So I think like in that sense, not really. Why is it still paused? Let's go. So GODSENT 4 armors, kit and a smoke on Pronax. That's basically for B retake. I'm not sure if that was through a smoke. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Just like, they get one taps and you get fucked. Let's just see. It seems like they throw something on yard, and that's why they wanted like to draw attention to yard and then just go B. AD spam around the corner with pistols consistently. It depends, like, depends on the angle you hold. Just hold like an off angle, that way, because they only like jiggle pick like the most common angles. So if you hold an off angle, you're probably gonna have just a player wide picking you. Okay, let's see. So it wasn't really all that much. What's the Molotov for? Like, for Kone, yeah. But by the time he gets there, they already lose 2 people from that position. So, yeah, maybe not really well thought out by Hellraisers this time around. Do you think GODSENT is able to win the next major? I don't think win. I think they could for sure make like legends again. But winning, like, they would have to improve a lot by the time the major comes to win. But it's not impossible. I mean, seeing how much they've improved from the minor to the major qualifier, you know? Oh yeah, eco round. Is allowed here to speak Serbian, Croatian? Well, probably English is better. I only speak in English in stream. Except when I say brate. P2000 versus USP. I think it's just like preference, and you know, when players see more players, you know, someone use it, then they're like, oh, maybe I should use it too, or something like that, and then it's just like a chain reaction. Like when you're on a plane and you see people order tomato juice, and you're like, why is everyone ordering tomato juice? And you're like, maybe I should try it as well. Maybe it's actually good. And then you try it and you figure out it's shit, and you go back to drinking beer. Hellraisers, can they beat OpTic? I don't think they can beat OpTic, but depending on the last game, they can still qualify. They mean, like, they've had a tough road, man, in this qualifier. Okay, buy round. They actually went for like 2 ecos, so that they have the op and all the nades, which is important on train. On train, you really need utility on the T side. Not that many things you can do without utility. Basically, you can only, like, if you only have a couple of smokes and shit, you're basically limited to going B, or, you know, it's more difficult to go A. You have to worry about many angles. They didn't seem to throw any smokes. Let's check this round from third person. I won't say any words, guys. I fell for that when I was like 8th grade. Not anymore. Okay, so there's one smoke there. Maybe they... Okay, they just throw it early so that someone can, like... A lot of teams throw this smoke in their defaults now, because that way they can get a player to this position without the CTs knowing. So sometimes they just use it to fake that they're gonna do that. So actually, they have all this utility, but they decide not to use it. They just like go for the fights pretty much. Oh, that was like, that really shouldn't happen. Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're gonna win the round regardless, but you really need to cover your bomb planter. Like, I hated that shit. I used to plant the bomb in my team, and when my teammate cunts don't cover me and I die and we lose the round because of that, because then someone has to pick it up, plant again, the CTs already rotate. That's just so annoying. NIP can't qualify. I think NIP will qualify. And even if they don't, I'm not sure they're gonna make changes. SK's drop on T side. Ask me this later, like once I finish the map. Standard, they take... Yeah, sure, why not? And then switch the pace, that's like good stuff. You always want to switch things around like that, so the CTs can't, like, you know, save utility or... Let's just see this round. Seems like Hellraisers are really, like, willing to go for these plays with a pop flash, you know, not throwing too much stuff. And they do a good job of pushing together. Okay, now they get split up, but they should have stuck together still, I feel like. But seems like GODSENT is going... Are they gonna go for it? Yeah, they just like move away from connector because they realize they can't go out because of the smoke and the Molotov. I feel like Hellraisers somehow lose this round even though they shouldn't. What are you gonna do, Bondek? Okay, there's no time now. What? Oh, he doesn't have a kit. Yeah, for some reason, I feel it's probably because they know Flasha is alone. So they feel like no reason for us to throw shit. Let's just like pop flash in case he's like somewhere close and then explode onto the side together. Because if you throw stuff, that gives away a cue to the CTs that, you know, you are perhaps coming to that site and they have more time to rotate before you plant the bomb. This way, exploding, you basically get the bomb down and you get that forward positioning before they get to like connector and all that stuff. So you could see like OpTic and Angel were here and there was only like one guy here and he wasn't even aware of, you know, he wasn't expecting them to be that forward that fast. So that won them the round in the end. Mouse versus Tyloo after this one. I'll see which game I'll do after this one, because Mouse Tyloo was very one-sided and I want to do Mouse, but I feel like they're gonna have like better games. I mean, a better example after today's games. Yeah, these general questions, leave them for a bit later, like after I'm done with the map. Okay, let's keep it going. So they actually saved. They have the op saved as well. So it's winnable, especially on a player like JW. Because, you know, he's so aggressive, so good at getting openings. Seems like he's gonna try and do it in Ivy. Or no. Just goes mid. Oh! I don't know how that first shot missed. But yeah, that Fox just goes... You feel like... You know, this is the second round Hellraisers win in a row. And they should expect like GODSENT either to be on an eco, besides the guns they saved, or to just have some pistols. So why do you take that duel? Why do you think that's a good idea? Why not? Especially after you hear him fire the first shot, you should just get away from that area of the map. Pretty much try and go B as fast as possible, right? I don't think there's a big chance of him being by himself with the op and then you know, the rest of the team stacking B, because that op is the, you know, the highest chance of you losing the round is running into that op pretty much. But they do get the refrag. I mean, Schneider pushes mid. Even though they have a man advantage, they don't have like a strong buy, so he feels like he needs to gain more ground. But Bondik just checks that angle. But it's 30 seconds left, and they're like, you know, Angel is going towards Ivy. It's gonna be tight. I feel like they're gonna lose this round based on time. And Bondik has a smoke, doesn't use it. 3 Molotovs, not being used yet. And everything's gonna fall apart. That's the problem. Like, against pistols, late into the round, being pressured by time, on a map like Train where there are a lot of angles to clear, like here, especially, you know, you have one player mid, one player Ivy, and they had to check everything. I feel like, why not just like have everyone go together? You know, that way it's way easier to trade. It's not like they have an M4 that can like mow you all down. Even an op, like he can get one shot and then has to fall back, but you're probably gonna get the trade. So I dislike it when teams against pistols or like, you know, weak buys, whatever, have buys, but there's a lot of pistols in play, when they spread around and not do it like properly. So yeah, they did a good job in gun rounds, and then like they lose an easy round they should have won. So now they're grouped up towards B. Why doesn't Zero? Ah, he dropped an AK for someone. I guess for Sticko, perhaps. Or someone died after time. Please don't spam. Otherwise, I'm gonna need to alt tab, manual, and then go back into the game. That's just like boring. Fucking hell. Let's do this. Let's give some mods to people. And mod icons. Timeout. 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 And yeah, I don't think it's that bad. One guy is enough. So let's get back into the game. I don't know, I have to figure out why does the game just start why does it start lagging so much when I alt tab. I'm just shit at this streaming stuff. I feel like that doesn't need to happen, but who knows. Only 4 timeouts per match. Okay, it was like, let's say somewhere around here. It was 12-11. Yeah, I don't have 2 PCs. Just 1 PC, but it's a pretty good one, so I think I like good enough for this stuff at least. It was 12. Oh fuck, it was like, yeah, let's just do it from, it was actually 11:10, not 12:11. See ya, Andrea. Changing rounds back and forth makes the game choppy. Oh, okay. Yeah, but this stream is about the chat as well, people asking questions, so I just need to find mods, I guess. Do you think there's a possibility? There's always a possibility. I never think it's a problem if teams are like, you know, 0 and 2. I think a problem is how they're playing, right? In general. And I didn't see the C9 Tyloo game, but I felt like there's no way like that C9 should lose that game. Especially after seeing Tyloo on day 1. I think that really, like, that was a game they had to win. Right now it's very difficult for them because of the matchups, right? There are a lot of, like, they're gonna have a very strong team they have to beat, which is not impossible, but it's going to be difficult. E-League Major, I don't know. I don't know, it can be the settings, it can be a bunch of things, but I think it's like, okay. I just wanted to do this, and I didn't have a lot of time to set everything up. And our Room on Fire guy was traveling as well to Atlanta, so... First day I didn't even have VODs enabled, guys. Come on, this is like fucking progress right here. You don't have the banners working, donation link, sounds. It's only gonna go up from here. Mouse is gonna make it. I feel like if Mouse is to qualify, they need to beat Immortals today. But, you know, if they lose and then they like get someone like Envy, that can still happen. I just feel Mouse has been really lucky. I feel in this qualifier with their draws, you know, compared to some of the other teams, like Hellraisers, for example. Or even GODSENT, but I mean GODSENT did beat teams, like they beat Dignitas. Oh, surprise, motherfucker! Oh, it seems like they just got like tagged by a nade and then stopped. I mean, this is a very gambly play. I think once again they were counting on Flasha being like all the way back around here. But he was actually closer up and gets 1 kill. And then after he makes the call, this player just starts like crazily spamming through, throws an aid, and that wrecks them. No, the matchups are random. They have to draw them again. I don't know who's gonna play who after the initial round, I mean. Legend system. I think what should be changed is Legends gets you like a spot at the next major, but you don't get like a high seed. Like reseeding is done once you know all the 16 teams. Fox in SK, I think he'll do fine. I think he's a good team player. I think they have enough like stars and enough like players who can you know, make plays. So I think they're definitely, you know, a big favorite to make top 8 again. Then it depends on the matchups. Obviously, if, you know, Phoenix was a better player, and he was doing a lot of work for them, and at majors as well, was a very strong player. But I don't think they're gonna be, you know, like shit now because they have Fox. So aggression from GODSENT, switching things up, good stuff. What? He got fucked. That was like a sick shot. Oh, but Pronax being sneaky, they definitely don't expect this. So yeah, Hellraisers setting up with for outside execute. And, or at least it looks like it, maybe a fake. I mean, these are like nade positions, right? You throw the nades from this spot. But they're in the meantime just holding. Because they know GODSENT is an aggressive team, so you know, they're expecting someone to push to get the advantage back, to even out things. So Pronax is in a really forward position. Maybe they suspect this. I wonder if they're gonna try and clear it together, or they just don't care. Ugh. Fox could improve SK Cash. Yeah, he's very good at playing like being aggressive with the op there against solo players who try to take control, like do the get right thing, smoke checker, molly checkers, smoke off the exit. This was a nice little fake. I mean, they have no idea Pronax is here, so... Oh, that was like a mouse jump. Accidentally. Is he gonna check the other side though? That's the question. He's not. Yeah. It's a good, it's not a bad thing. Like once you have map control, it's okay to fake even if you're a man up, because the fact that the cities are a man down, right? They need to like make a play and take risks to still win the round. If they just play like 2-2 or 2-1 or 3-1, probably gonna lose. So that forces like people to go towards A. Flush is by himself and not much he can do. Pronax did have like an okay flank, but he was just unlucky in the fact that they were going B and he couldn't even kill the guys that were faking. So yeah, good round from Hellraisers. Favorite map? It's probably Cash, because there's so many things you can do on the map, like on the CT side as well. It's very dynamic. OpTic, very good right now. Like they've improved a lot, even though they've played a lot of tournaments as well. And like they have so many different players who can like step up for the team. Even Stanislav as the in-game leader and my younger brother, like even he is not, you know, he's not like shit because he's an in-game leader. He does okay individually. And they play like solid fundamental CS. They rarely make like stupid mistakes and, you know, rarely beat themselves, I think is a good way to put it. You need to like outplay them. You need to beat them. So, big round for both teams actually, because both teams are like drained out in terms of money. And Hellraisers decide to go for another like slow default play, feeling things out, getting control of holes. GODSENT playing more passive, didn't go for... I mean, this is an aggressive angle though from JW, so... He's covered from ladder as well, so this is like a good angle. It's hard for the T's have to like flash him from here, yeah. They have to like flash him from there. Or that pop flash works well. That's very important, like, if you are to be aware that you might die to that and to throw that pop flash. So bomb is already down, and they have that info. The smokes are gonna clear soon as well. Will they get the bomb plant? Yeah, they just get it. But like at this moment, they're very spread around. Like Zero is holding for a flank, Angel is in Ivy, still very passive, like going for a long flank, and Bonnik is here. The problem is once Dead Fox dies, and I feel like he's gonna die pretty soon, and there's no one else like making contact with the CTs. They are going to know, at that point, you know that one player has to be in ladder. You probably have Pronax at that point turn towards Ivy, and someone is gonna watch for this area as well, because those are the most common spots, right? And there's no contact. I feel like more players need to try and challenge to create more chaos, because if that folk just dies, they lose all pressure, and there's still like 5 CTs alive, even if he gets 1 kill. So let's see what happens. I feel like they're gonna lose this round. Okay, so no one's watching Ivy. That's like a mistake. Oh, JW is just now. So yeah, I mean, basically, after that Fox died, it's like there's a 5% chance for Hellraisers to win the round if GODSENT doesn't make a big mistake. Is Stanisla really your brother? I don't know, how's that a question? Have you seen the pictures? A team that beat themselves. Probably Mouse. The first team that comes to my mind. So when I say that, the thing is like, you have teams who, you know, make a silly mistake in a round, like lose a 3v1 or a 4v2 or something like that, and because of that round, they basically crumble, right? You see them starting to play more sloppy Counter-Strike, you know, make more mistakes, not as big of a mistake as the one they made, but small ones, like I pointed out perhaps in the Immortals game or something like that, right? And then, you know, because they're playing like the best teams in the world most of the time, or really strong teams, those teams just capitalize on that, and you feel like they just, you know, basically collapse as a team, pretty much. You don't feel like that happens to OpTic. They don't lose that many silly rounds, don't make as many mistakes, and even if when they lose like a round they probably shouldn't have, they like are able perfectly to bounce back immediately after that. So yeah, that's what I mean. To be honest, like there's not that many teams right now that beat themselves, because like the level of CS has risen so much that, you know, we have more teams playing solid Counter-Strike. I'll do predictions that once I'm done doing all the games. Probably like I'm gonna end the stream probably like half an hour or something before the games start. So yeah, Hellraisers now feel forced to buy because GODSENT has 14 rounds. They don't want to concede like the 15th round and then just fight for overtime, which is understandable, but it's gonna be hard with the buy they have. And this is where GODSENT switched it up a little bit, you know, because Flasha is always alone. Now he was playing up close higher, and it was actually JW with the op holding the aggressive angle. Difference between Smiths and Hanny. I think more than anything else, it's the play style. Like Hanny is way more aggressive than Smith. Smith is a way more passive player. Just like holding angles and stuff. You know, you even see it on Dust 2 nowadays when G2 wants to go for a more aggressive play with the op, they give it to Shox, and Shox makes it simply because he's more comfortable in making those moves. So yeah, I think playstyle is the biggest difference. Thanks, buddy. You're a real buddy. So let's just see what happens after they lose like the initial guy. Seems like they just go yard again without like using utility, and then just get picked off. And they don't even have like, I mean, Schneider is a connector, but he can get smoked off, so there's basically like one guy committed, and he's gonna get smoked off. Oh, that's a bad smoke. I mean, that's brave to try and plant just like that in the open. I feel like once they got out, they shouldn't have tried to plant the bomb so quickly. They need to realize there's players somewhere hiding, trying to buy time and stuff. They should have tried to challenge more and get an extra kill before they start to plant the bomb. You know, clear all of this and then plant here. Because this way it's just like, that's just too risky, I feel like. So now they're pretty fucked. Very weak buy. Mostly with pistols, you see teams go actually yard with like a lot of nades and try to push through smokes. But either way, whether you go B or A, it's very difficult because the CTs know that they can play passive and that they can retake B. They know that you have to push forwards in B, so they just take like passive off angles and get the kills most of the time. Specific player or team you think will shine? I think like in 2017, I think there's gonna be a lot of changes after the major, so I think we'll have a lot of new teams at that point. You think Kusta should stay on CLG? Why not? I mean, where can he go? They should try and rebuild that team somehow. You know, CLG is not like a bad org or anything. I don't think like him going to Liquid, for example, is like you know, something that's gonna be like a thing. So yeah, you see what happened. They like throw I think it was like even a small type of a fake outside, and then they go B and try to push, but it's just like you just hold passive angle. It's so hard to get those kills because that's the only thing the CTs are waiting for. They don't give a fuck if you're planting the bomb. They just wait for you to push, get those 2 kills, and then like 4v2, still have some nades, and then they just retake. It's pretty straightforward for them. What were those? There were a couple of questions that I told people to ask me after the game. It was SKT sides was one of them. I don't know. I feel like that SK, you know, with the break and the fur thing, and then like the FNX stuff, I feel that they were just like losing their mojo as a team in general, and that, you know, they weren't as confident playing that much, and then they started switching maps. You know, like Mirage was their first pick for a very long time. Then it was like, then they started playing Overpass a lot, and none of those maps, like Overpass was, you know, obviously trained, but you know, Mirage became a map where they couldn't beat anyone pretty much anymore. So then like Cobble started sucking for them as well. I mean, it was never one of their strongest map. Cobble was like their maybe, I don't know, 4th map. But and then it felt like they didn't know what to pick until they started like picking Train against people. So yeah, I feel like that was the issue. And then they started like trying to change things, reinvent things, and it didn't really work out for them. Yeah, I'll do another game. I just don't know what should I do, like NIP Hellraisers, NIP OpTic, or Mouse Tyloo. Like Mouse Tyloo was very one-sided game, but it was on Train, but I just did Train. But I didn't do Overpass today, and it's NIP OpTic, so we can see some good stuff. Probably go with that in the end. NIP will qualify. I think they'll qualify. I just think they shouldn't. I mean, they don't pick Overpass. It's like it's a randomizer, so maybe they're hoping for the other map to be in the pool. I think like they should. I think it would be good for them to not play it anymore. I think they need to like improve their CT side, in my opinion. More international rosters, probably. Adran, Kusta, Sabrosa, Nathan, Breeze. I don't really, I haven't really watched them play that much. Like I don't have an established opinion on like players like Sabrosa, Ethan, Breeze. I don't think I've seen him play ever. But on paper, it looks like a lot of like talent and Adran to coach them. You know, which to coach them to in-game lead, which would make sense. Secondary Opera as well. Oversaturation. I don't know. I think there's like too many online leagues. I don't think like the LAN tournaments are as big of a problem. It's just like you know, teams play so much each other all the time. There's not that much time to practice, and like the viewers are not as entertained, right? You get the same matchups all the time. You're not as excited as seeing like teams play. Oh, NIP OpTic, Mouse, NIP OpTic, Mouse. It seems like NIP OpTic wins here. Aha, CLG T side. Why do you think teams don't push to beat rotations? What do you mean exactly? You mean like why don't T's push more aggressive for map control? Or the CTs or what? Knowledge or discipline? I think discipline more than knowledge, but lack of discipline maybe stems from lack of knowledge, right? They not knowing what's like that the best move is to play more safe, and then they, you know, just fuck up. Okay, time to open up the next game. Oh, let's just do the tweet actually. Okay, jumping into OpTic versus NIP on overpass. Now doing predictions after for today's games. Okay, let's start this shit up. The T side question. I don't know. It depends. I think there are teams who are not aggressive enough in taking map control. Sometimes they are like, what's happening? Okay. You know, I don't really think it's that. I think a lot of teams actually do a good job at it. It's just a matter of, you know, do they get a kill as well, or just real estate? Because sometimes you don't get contact, so you don't get kills, but you don't necessarily need them. With good map control, you can win the round based on the information you get. Play demo. There we go. G2 and Envy. I think like more than I think Envy needs to change more than G2. Doesn't seem to be working for them at the moment. Oh, the disconnects. I think it's like, I mean, obviously there are rules in place. It sucks that it's happening. I think like more than anything else, there should be like a LAN client for this shit, especially for a major qualifier. You know, because it goes both ways. Even if kills don't happen, like map control gets exchanged. Maybe you just give away info that you bought or you didn't buy. So yeah. Do you think Wild needs to step in? I think that's like dangerous for oversaturation, because then it's like, well, you know, we don't want them to get full control like Riot, right? Okay, so pistol round. Utility on Zest, but they just decide to push straight away. Yeah, Rush had a sick game.
Damn, you cleared it?
Yeah, NA players still use like voice enable and they talk when they're dead. That's so funny. So sometimes you hear them watching a demo. I don't think NIP are mentally fucked. Okay, so this rotates to Forest. I think after not having contact for so long, they know that both players are there. Yeah, they just missed a bunch of shots, unfortunately, so OpTic wins the pistol. It's a good way to become a good in-game leader. I mean, obviously, you need to have a lot of knowledge about the game, so you know what to call. But it's also about like being calm and collected, right, and being confident. And I think it's also about preparation, right? Coming into a map and like, you know, knowing your team, your strengths, and you know the playbook you have, and thinking about what's, you know, what should I call in which situation, right? So that when the moment comes, because it can be like very fast paced at times, you know, it can be hard to think of everything in the 20 seconds of freeze time. So that way you being prepared, you know, like beforehand, okay, so this is what I call in this situation, and you don't have to spend time thinking about it, because sometimes you want to call a fast threat is what you want to call, and you can't have players being late from freeze time, you know, getting shit done because you didn't call the strat in time. Okay, so default, OpTic playing passive. I mean, they were holding, then fell back, and now they're pushing again. Oh, that's a very good spray from Tariq. Does 50 damage on Exist as well. So they find him. And they catch Mixwell as well. Mixwell as well. So yeah, they were trying to change their positions. Wow, that's sick. This is why OpTic is so good at the moment, right? They're playing solid CS. This guy, who was it? I think it was Rush. He comes in, throws the pop flash, Naf waits for it, he just peeks. A lot of the times, you'll see players like just peek, you know, by themselves. Because they know like they're the last player, they feel pressured like to do something. But, you know, they don't have the presence of mind. Or the Rush as the rotator, you know, sometimes he's the one who needs to call, wait, don't peek, I'll flash it for you. And that's what got him the 2 kills, you know, because they were like flashed or half flashed, he could like, you know, take the moment and aim calmly and get the 2 kills. And then they even get the retake. Let's check that out real quick.
Cleared it.
So yeah, it was Rush. Then he gets 2 kills. And you see how they're holding like passively, waiting for the T's to come to them. Can't get the trade there.
Nice enough.
So Stanislav like on the flank but doesn't see anyone, so they know it's a different plan. Rush wins the duel. And now they're like, because they're getting so much info, so he's either like in the left corner from Rush, or he's like long. So Stanislav saw that he's not there, now they know he's long. I think it was actually said like yesterday when I was doing predictions that I think NIP wins if it's Cobble, OpTic wins if it's Overpass. But there's the randomizer as well, so you can't really pick. There's always like a 50-50 chance in the end. So yeah, I think this is the main reason why OpTic is so good at the moment. They're like so good at these fundamentals, you know. They like make the extra play when someone else, you know, would just do the, I mean, the obvious stuff. Not really obvious, but you know, they have the presence of mind to realize, okay, it's better like if we flash, it's better if we go in together, it's, you know, everyone seems to be on the same page in regards to that. This is an eco round, but I'm still watching it, so let's see if something happens. I feel like now it will. Stanislav, your brother. I mean, have you seen the pictures? Will I do predictions? Yes, after this game. I mean, on one hand, they have a lot of pressure because they're the favorites, NIP, but on the other hand, I mean, they're still very experienced and a very strong team, so... I feel these are the moments where GetRight starts playing more ballsy to, like, lead the team. Precisely because of that. He feels like that guy who is like, there's no way I'm not qualifying for this shit. Feels like he becomes the leader of the team in those situations, right? Or when they're facing like elimination in groups, you know, where they're playing the decider game or something like that. So OpTic had only one player on B, Stanislav spotting. Oh, and Rush is there. So they're playing like this is very common when players want to play passive. They just hold these angles. Similar to what I was talking about on Train, you like play far back and wait for them to push and kill them holding off angles. I mean, they're not as forced to push on overpass as they are on Train, but yeah. Then you play for the retake. Forest and Pith in a 2v1 again. This didn't go all too well the last time, boys, did it? Come on, Stan. Oh! That was close. Okay. Pith redeems himself this time around. Leave the like general questions, like the mouse sports thing. I'll answer it after the map. Then we'll do like predictions and Q&A and that stuff. So mostly like ask something you see like in the game, or if you want me to like explain something a bit more, if you wonder like why something happened the way it did. So NIP actually does win that round with like pistols and stuff. And it's really, you know, OpTic, them getting a kill, getting a gun, then deciding to play a bit, OpTic playing a bit more passive on B, they get the bomb down, and after that it's just like a couple of good shots. Those rounds can always be a bit random, right? Do you think OpTic is top 5 right now? Right now they are. I just want to see them like play best of 3s against more like tier 1 teams. Obviously it's like, I mean, it's not their fault. They beat the teams that they, you know, get to face. But they haven't played like NAP in a best of 3, although they did beat them like on overpass, which would definitely be played in the best of 3, I think, with the two teams. But yeah, or like a VP and so on. Really common games. No, I won't do live games. Let's fast forward. This just seems like boring shit. Okay, so they have a buy. Naf actually goes for a deagle with 2900. He could have gotten a UMP, a bunch of like different stuff, but he goes for the deagle. Let's see how that works out. We like common games. No. They got fucked. Feels like maybe, I don't know, maybe a better flash, but this is like a really weird position to hold, so they try to gain some ground. This is preparing, because I think Rush said in an interview afterwards that they were like actually preparing a little bit for NIP. So they probably saw that GetRight a lot of the times he just is by himself, like being very aggressive, trying to take control. So they felt like, let's just double team him, right? Like, let's just, you know, together we can take him. But GetRight's too strong. Ugh. But Naf like knows he's low at least, so you know he only has a deagle. Let's just push, try to get that kill. And now they're a bit more aggressive in toilets as well. And there's like, they just threw the smoke and it's 40 seconds left, so they should have like, I mean the problem is they have no idea if they're outside B, right? So they know that they're not like short toilets, but they don't know if they're B or long. Now they do. Yeah. They just lost too much like control and players early on that it's just really hard to defend after that. And NIP basically, that at that moment NIP has to make a mistake for OpTic to win the round. Yeah, I did FaZe. It was the first game. What's going on? See if they actually win the round. Fuck. Let's check it out. Yeah, FaZe was the first game to be on the VOD. I think they can get really good. Okay, so rush. He gets 2 kills. So NIP playing slow, methodical, going towards long, which is like good call. Long range, that's where you want to go against pistols. Use the advantage you have with rifles. Why don't you flash? Why don't you like throw anything? I think that's a mistake, right? No flashes, no nothing. You just like, why not throw it? Why not use the flash? Why not use something, right? I feel that's a mistake. That's the weird part. NIP, like one of the reasons why they were so good, like why they became so good in 2016, was when they like brought threat. That they were like so good at anti-ecos, anti-force buys. They like not just didn't lose those rounds, but they like had flawless rounds. So they would get a lot of, they would get a very strong economy, and then like you need to like win 2, maybe even 3 consecutive gun rounds against them to force them on an eco. So I feel like with threat not being behind the team, they're a bit more loose on T sides. Like sometimes that's like a good thing, but I think they lost discipline with him not being behind the team. Like I don't think they would lose this round if it was like, I don't know, April, March. I think there's no chance, but yeah. And that's a big deal because they just clawed their way back, you know, won 3 rounds, pressure on OpTic. They would have had to go for glass cannon op. So yeah. Alright. So Getra doing the same thing again. I mean, he had support, but... And he kills the Opper as well. I guess he was pop flashed, so... I mean, I think Stanislav is actually expecting him to try and peek there. And like, holds that angle specifically to wait for him, and Getrite still gets the kill, so... And now they just overwhelm the B-bomb side. But this is like, these smokes are very, very tricky, because you can see, like, this actually works for rush. But Pith is aware that he threw a shit smoke, so he's just waiting for it. And Getra just like wall bangs Naf. Привет. So yeah, they just like chase for kills, but they actually get one of the 2. And this is like this is a situation where it's okay for NIP to chase, because they know they're going to reset their economy and they have a good bank themselves, so they can afford to like lose a couple of players and still get the kill. Why Forrest stopping? I think he opts on the T side because he's like more aggressive than Pith, and Pith opts CT sometimes. So yeah, OpTic still, because they want like the eco, they still have enough money to buy this time around. And we can see like how they're trying different ways to deal with Getrite. Op on short, sending 2 players in water, boosting like players in connector. They're aware that that's where they can exploit NIP, right? The fact that he's by himself. But Getter, he's doing a really good job at like, not just not dying, but actually getting openings. Easiest part to take control on this map. For the T's, probably like water. I don't know, I think like equally all parts are difficult depending on what setup the CTs go for, because CTs sometimes go towards connector on A, sometimes they have the long setup like this time around, sometimes it's here in toilets, sometimes they're all the way aggressive here in the beginning. On B as well, sometimes they send 2 players here, like throw the molly here, you know. So I think the most like lucrative real estate here is probably like toilets, but you kind of need to have control of both toilets and water, because that allows you to rotate between sites and execute fakes. This is like one of the more difficult maps to get map control. You need like to be more methodical and use utility, because there are so many angles for the CTs to play with, especially when they have an op. right? So yeah, I don't think there's like one part of the map that's like the most important. If I had to say it, probably like this area of toilets, so that you force the CTs to be in A, so that they can't be forward up. Gonna watch matches live? No, I can't really do that. I don't think I'm gonna watch all the games either. So yeah, the problem with this is that Tarek is by himself, right? So he's kind of hoping that he's gonna get a duel, not like 3 players coming his way, but that's a bit risky, you know. I think actually they were trying to send one more player there to like bait for him, but the timing was off. NIP too slow in taking Bob sites. I don't really think so. I think they can change the stuff up. So yeah, I don't really think that's a problem for them. And this time they did a good round of like, I mean, not really faking, but just like switching the bomb site real fast, because Rush was, you know, in a passive position and Naf was like in the middle of nowhere, having to watch out for both directions at the same time. So yeah, right now it's NIP playing, like both teams are playing well,
Just playing where I was told.
except you can hear Tarek like just saying I'm just playing where I was told. So there was probably some miscommunication in that round for them. Yeah, so both teams playing really well, except for that one round that NIP fucked up against Pistols. So let's watch this round. It's like Mixwell and Rush both saved. So I was talking about this. It's like difficult to play against a round like this, even though you maybe know that the other, you know, the 3 players are equaling. Still, like fighting an op, he can be on so many places. He can be aggressive or passive. So you need to like basically treat it as a gun round. Be super methodical, not like, you know, get reckless. But they're like full on A stack and NIP is on B, so I think like this round should be pretty much over. Oh, they went boost up, that's neat. Yeah, so you see what GetRight does all the time, like throws that molly so that they kinda can't push him. You know, so that's why he feels like he can take water by himself. And if they throw a smoke... Oh, that train is loud. If they throw a smoke, I mean, he will expect it. So that wasn't really a good pop flash. Pith tries to like catch them in the back, but he's a bit too late. So yeah, good aggression. They had 3 players there. OpTic. Yeah, so this is where you don't want to like do anything crazy if you're CT, you know. Just try and get information without dying, in a sense that, you know, that's where you see players like jumping on the A bomb site. You want to, you know, just figure out if they're going to go A or B, and then you can just rotate, use your numbers. Once you get like contact, just play to buy time. That's it. Oh, he actually gets picked up by the op. Oh, now it's dangerous. Oh, now they're fucked. You see, this is the problem. Like, they still have, like, they had the advantage, but they just died so fast, they couldn't buy any time. And NIP gets the plant with, like, getting positioning as well. So now, actually, NIP has, like, a big advantage in this round. And it's not like, I mean, Mixwell was holding on angle, he lost the duel, and Tarek was just, like, fully mollied. So he tried, like, to run away, but he couldn't. Oh, but they just actually like make a sick retake. The problem here is you wonder like, why are NIP here? Why isn't that guy like in toilets or whatever? The problem is because they were in a 3v5, they couldn't have info whether like someone was pushing from behind, and players do that a lot. Like a lot of times you see them getting backstabbed. So they just felt like because they got 2 quick kills, it's safer for them to stay in the bomb site and defend the plant from there rather than staying at the toilets. Sick pop flash. Was it the same one? But yeah, those are just the things you can like improve a lot as an individual player as well. Like if you're playing rotate, or I mean even if you're the anchor of like B, you should try and figure out, okay, if I'm gonna retake A, which way I'm gonna come the most, and what are like the best, you know, nades I can throw, right? If I have flashes, which is the best flash I can throw for myself or for a teammate, you know? A lot of like, you know, players who are trying to go pro or something, they don't really like think about those things. So they just throw like a random flash like high up, which does fuck all, you know, and a good pop flash can like win you the round. As we saw like in the rush round, I mean when rush through the flash for NAF, and in this round as well. Those were like both very big rounds for OpTic, you know. They were like at a disadvantage. Yeah, not just NA teams, probably like, you know, teams in general. So NIP still with the money to buy. They had a lot of rounds together, and this is again very important for OpTic not to lose this round, not to get reset. And again, another fucking pop flash. This team is actually so sick at fucking pop flashing, but I mean, Xyz just shits on them behind, so that's just unlucky for OpTic. So Naf in a forward position gets a kill. The problem is, like, you would ideally have the player from long, which is Exist, just rush and trade, but he has 3 HP, so he can get fucking wrecked by a nade, or, you know, just one player with a gun get sprayed down, all that stuff. Yeah, this is the round where Rush got the sick triple. It's a good setup here because, well, Tarek did 200 damage with nades. Because the Opper being here, he's kind of baiting for the guy in the corner, right? You're focused on the Op, you're not thinking there's going to be a player in the corner. So, a neat little setup, and yeah, good play from Rush to get all those kills. So NIP can buy, but it's their like last round where they can buy. So they're going for an expo play on Monster. They actually have 2 ops here. Why do they have 2 ops here? I mean, that was a bit weird from OpTic. I'm not really sure why would you have both ops on the same site. But yeah. First it was the molly that slowed NIP down. And then it was, you know, they didn't really... When you're playing against an op, you either smoke him out, or you like flash and then like swarm the side so that he can't just keep re-peeking you and you can't get into the side. But that's really hard to do, especially because you maybe don't know for sure if the opera is gonna be there. So yeah, NIP just ran into 3 players and got wrecked. Let's fast forward this.
What the?
Turns out to be like relatively close in the end, and NIP gets the bomb down. So last round of the half, Forest with the op. OpTic has everything they need pretty much as well. Yeah, Tarek spends the rest of his money. Not sure why they don't buy better pistols since it's the last round, you know, you never know. Have to pull out pistols at dawn, but they decide against it. So yeah, you guys could notice how OpTic like went for, you know, different aggression, mostly towards water to counter Get Right, but towards connector as well. They had those setups towards long. Take like that into account when we switch and you see NIP play their CT side. I feel like they're way too passive and way too one-dimensional on their CT side. I think that's why, especially if, you know, OpTic considering OpTic like studied them and watched the game against Hellraisers, I feel like if you know that, if you know those tendencies, it's like much more difficult to play on the T side, even on a map like Overpass. Because you know that you don't have to spend as much utility to like gain ground towards A. You know, some things you don't have to really worry about, so yeah. And like in this situation, NIP is a bit too slow getting map control. I mean, they have no idea what's going on in toilets. Player could be in water as well, but probably not since he's being spammed through the door, so... And there's only 35 seconds left. So this looks like it's supposed to be, what, an A fake? It's only, I'm in pit here. They're basically waiting for Forest to try and get a kill. Which is like, meh. You know, it does feel like if NIP starts losing, like if they lose... if they lose like 3 or 4 rounds in a row, sometimes they tend to do stuff like that. You know, like Forest goes and tries to find a pick just individually, which really isn't like the way to go. I feel like nowadays it can't work that well. You know, before it could, when people were like more undisciplined and when they were just much more individually better. But nowadays it's way more tough. So now 20 kills on Rush, 9 rounds on OpTic. On the city side, that's like good but not great. You know, it's not impossible for NIP to win 10 rounds, especially if they win pistol. So, you know, you're not out of the woods yet if you're OpTic. Not even close, actually. Yeah, it's not just the fact that Rush had 20 kills. He had a lot of impact. Like, he got a lot of kills in gun rounds, like impact kills, but he also had those like good flashes. So just like a very good half from him all around. So they're also like lurking towards B, waiting for someone to push basically for info. But they're actually playing passive. Because what Gatroy did against Hellraisers, he was pushing from water all the way towards here, and I think it was 0 waiting for him, but Gatroy still got the kill. So they were just, I think this was OpTic saying, okay, let's hold in case he does the same thing, but they also have a plan. Okay, if that doesn't happen, then what are we gonna do? And they have like an execute in place for that. So that's perhaps, if you're gonna like anti-strat, that's the way you should do it. Not like, you know, rely on that happening 100%. You should be like, okay, this might happen. In case it happens, we're gonna be prepared for that. But in case it doesn't, we're gonna know, you know, what we're gonna do. You don't want to be committed to the anti-strat 100%. Coaching changes. I'll answer it like after the game. So yeah, this is now like just a full-on retake. And in a case like this, a lot of it will come down to headshots. NIP doesn't have a smoke for the bomb either. They do have a kit. So let's see how OpTic does this. Oh, they have a molly as well, yeah. That's the way to play it, right? You have a molly, wait for it, throw the molly first, just hold for them to push aggressively towards short or towards monster, and you know, if you hear a smoke, then you just fucking panic and go for it, and all knives in the smoke, boys. Yeah, smoke could have been like a big problem for them. I think Freiburg must have thrown it somewhere before, but yeah, smoke could have made that interesting for sure. So that's how you see it, right? From third person, you see like how everyone's on the same page and they know like what they need to do to win the round, and it looks like so easy. Yeah, fuck this round. Let's go. You see that NIP don't fully force. They like buy a shotgun, someone buys like pistols, but they want to have like, you know, a decent buy at least for the gun round. They have enough money for an op on pit as well. So let's see what happens. Mixwell, he says like he doesn't really like Overpass. It's his worst map. So that's why usually he doesn't have a really good performance on the map. I think he had a great clutch on this map later on. And that one on the CT side was like pretty big as well on the eco round, the 2 kills with the AK. So yeah, NIP is usually more passive, but here they actually change things up, right? They try to send Pith towards B, but he gets mollied off, and Forest is in, you know, by himself. Everyone is like towards B. It's weird that like they don't really like think about stairs at all, so Forest gets a free kill on Mixwell. But yeah, now like NIP realizes they need to start moving around. They didn't find an opening on B. This is again a bit like reckless from Forest, but he feels like he is fucked because he has no support from A, no one in water, so he feels like he needs to fall back, that he's gonna get like, you know, pushed from stairs at some point. But yeah, Stanislav was just like in a good spot to punish him. So Pitt's still hoarding aggressively. This is like, but you know, doesn't allow them to rotate all that much. They still need to have 2 players there. And the 2 players on A are like pretty passive, just trying to get info. Not much more that, you know, NIP can do besides this. Maybe try and flash Freiburg outside Monster and then rotate Pit, but they're doing that regardless. So NIP with a good read so far. I think it's better if I watch more stuff third person, right? Yeah, just a very good hold from GetRight. Not that much utility on OpTic. Okay, Nav had a smoke, but he didn't use it. He was just scoped up. You see, right, the problem is, okay, there were 3 players here, so good read from NIP, good stack. But you know, if you had a bit more smokes, an extra smoke, maybe you negate the effect of one of the players. GetRight, it feels like this molly was a bit too far back, because he was still able to lurk around this position. But yeah, just in general, good read from NIP. I mean, sometimes shit happens like mid-round. You can't really account for everything, right? You have to spend some of the utility, which you would have liked to have saved. You expected something else to happen, and then you're like forced into a play that's not optimal. That's basically when that's situations in which you get outplayed most of the time. That's weird. I don't know why that didn't work. That must be so frustrating though. They both lost like 60 HP pretty much. And now he dies to a nade. If that smoke works, he doesn't die to a nade, so you can see that. And it's a very important round, because NIP needs to win this round not to get reset, and they get the early advantage. So right now OpTic decides like, fuck that, fuck B, let's go back to A. Maybe knowing that at this point NIP is playing passive towards A, so this is still winnable for OpTic because they have a lot of utility, right? If they use all of this properly towards A, they can still get into the bomb site, plant the bomb. And as long as you can do that and, you know, have a decent after plant situation, like a 3v4, something like that, it's winnable. You can see how Pit like flashes before he re-peaks, which is like obviously something you need to do. Otherwise, Mixwell just gonna like hold that angle and get the refrag. Yeah, so another like, the problem is now they use the smokes, but they know Pit is here, and it's very hard to get rid of him from this position if you don't have pressure for long. And they only had Mixwell, who was low HP, and he can't really like just run long with the op. So yeah, Pit was in a very strong position in that round. And OpTic like calls the timeout. They want to, you know, calm things down a little bit. They can still buy, but it seems like they're gonna go for just pistols and armor. Smoke bug, yeah. Maybe it's a bug. I think it has to be a bug. Because he didn't, like, if it bounces off of anything now, then it doesn't work, but he hit it directly in the molly. Alright. This is actually maybe the round they won, so I'm gonna stick on this one for a while. So yeah, the B molly yet again. Usual stuff. This is the most common setup from NIP, right? Pith on long by himself. Forest here, then they like both fall back. Which is alright, it's not like, it's a safe setup to go for. And now they have just Pith swinging like between these two peaks, and basically Forest is by himself. So this is like, I mean, Pith can't really help Forest. He can't really bait for him. You know, maybe just by the fact, you know, how he's playing. But you see right now, like, you know, Forest is by himself. So maybe you send 3 players there. That's what Hellraisers did against NIP. They had an extra player, like 2 players far back and Angel here, so they were like baiting for Angel. Mostly, and it worked like pretty well. So they're waiting around, they're sending Nav towards B to like try and fake by himself. And he is like forcing them to move, which is a mistake. No reason for you to move, you didn't see the bomb either. And they gave away some positioning, right? Okay, they don't win this round. I was wrong, guys, sorry. We wasted time. You can see, same setup. Compare that to OpTic, like going for different stuff. The only round that NIP changed, like I think in their city half from fucking the Hellraisers game, is that one round where Forest was in stairs and Pit was towards B. And they did a lot of boosting in B. And now they're more aggressive towards B. They used to do that in the Hellraisers game, I think, as well. But the problem is, you need to be able to do that on B. And this is the problem with this setup, right? Sure, Tarek got a good kill on Pit who was falling back. But they're both, like, they're playing like 2 solo players. So, you know, no one can help the other player out. No one can bait for them. No one can, you know, they don't have a crossfire or anything. It's basically like left for them to do all the work. And, you know, I think that's not the way to play this side of the map on overpass at all. It's similar to Cobble when you have like players who play A and like one holds mid, the other one holds long by himself, and you know, that way if they go for a split, that's the problem. Imagine if on like B does too. Imagine if you have one player holding mid and one player holding tunnels, which rarely happens these days. Like if they go for a B split, you're playing like 3v1 on one side and 2v1 on the other side. So it's much more difficult for you to defend. That's why you see people like defend a B split by having both players out mid and a player in CT, and they all focus on mid and try to, you know, kill the T players on that side, and then they play the retake towards B. So I feel that's the biggest issue right now with NIP on overpass, is this, like on the CT side. I feel that's like what hinders them the most. But we'll see, the round isn't over yet, although it probably is. Yeah, that was like the sick kill from Exist. I mean, this round was like very close in the end. It feels like Freiburg here, he waits for it. He like kind of expects it, but then he like isn't patient enough. And Naf gets the kill. You feel like maybe Tarek felt like he had great timing here, that they didn't like expect him to be there. But it was probably the smarter play to just play it passive, right? You have the bomb plant, you have like the positions, don't need for you to risk it. So yeah, in the end Naf gets it, so it's fine. So yeah, NIP very low on money. For some reason they didn't lose that many players before, but yeah, they don't even have like all the nades. And now they're a bit more aggressive towards stairs. So again, it seems like for against OpTic, when they decide to switch it up, it's more towards the stairs connector area. No problem. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. So OpTic playing a bit more passive right now. Like they go for delayed long take, and you can see how they're like throwing utility. They're maybe expecting NIP to have like the setup somewhere here, but that's not the case this time around. Like even OpTic, like Tariq only has a Tech 9. So this is like a very, very important round. If OpTic wins this, they like basically almost won the game, because if NIP loses, they have like 1400. So if they force, it's a very shitty force, and then like OpTic has 15 and they have 1900, and then it's like even worse. But if they eco, OpTic has like 15 and they have 3400, so they're fucked either way. NIP has to win this round basically, otherwise they've lost the game. So yeah, the connector stack actually works out initially, and this is where, you know, and Pit is still like just firing so that they are a bit scared of pushing towards A, because that's the normal reaction after you see that many players in connector and Forest, because you know he's the A player. That's where you just push A. But still, like, Pit lets them get into the bomb site, and now it's like a 2v4, 2v5 basically, yeah. Oh, he wins this actually. Fucking hell. This is the problem with everyone coming in from, and this is like timing is fucking insane. He chooses the exactly right time to go for that rotation. So Mixwell like bottom fragging, I mean him and Tariq, but he had like a lot of impact still in some of the rounds. And yeah, this is the problem with everyone coming from the same direction, because then this is like a position where Mixwell can really just like re-peek a lot and hide, and Rush was like drawing a lot of attention to himself, and Mixwell hit some like 6 shots in this round. So that's why most of the times teams go like for the flank. That way you really limit the possibility of something like this happening. So yeah, you can see now they're on an eco. And Get Right here like doesn't even have any bullets left, so yeah. 59 pretty much, and you can see it's like M4s, just a couple of smokes, not even nades on Forest. So now they stick together a bit more because they have 2 rifles, no op on Pit. And OpTic again perfectly like comfortable to just like sit back, wait for the early smokes to pass. They know that NIP is on a weak buy, so once those smokes pass, they're not gonna have a lot of money. I mean, a lot of nades to play with. So no, this is way better. You know, the players can actually help each other out. They can get trades, even though they're looking at different like angles, but. And now they even have Get Right Throw in the pop flash. So this is like better stuff. And now they can like perhaps get information that it's a fake, because they don't hear players and they see nades falling on A. Yeah, Stanislav is like very, very delayed on that flank. Feels like Rush can't stay alive. There's no way he can stay alive for that long.
It's kind of obvious by looking behind him.
I mean, now he has to know, yeah. He knows that they're both there. So that's the problem. Like, when you look at it, pretty much NIP just got, I mean, outplayed by OpTic. There were a lot of close rounds though when you look at it. I mean, there were a lot of clutches, but besides that 2v5 round, it doesn't really feel like they doesn't really feel like NIP had, you know, the upper hand when it came to those. It always felt like OpTic was in a better situation. when it came to the clutch rounds. So it is 69. I feel that the game was perhaps a bit closer than that, but you know, OpTic just played better, and you can see like the small adjustments they were making on their CT side for NIP, and the fact that they win like second pistol is really super important. So okay, that's it for the games. Now let's do like some predictions and maybe like those general questions that you guys had. You can ask away now. Just tweet it out. Okay, done with the games. Doing general Q&A and predictions for today's matches. Could mouse sports play better? They change roles, a few things. Yes, I think they need an in-game leader, like a proper like leader for the team. Let's just put like the HLTV page at least. Yeah, I think they need a leader and perhaps like get an upgrade for Dennis. I feel he's been giving enough time to like improve. So yeah, coaching rule change. Yeah, I don't know. I understand the logic from Valve, and it's fine. You want like the 5 players on the server to be the 5 players that like have all the impact, or most of the impact. But I feel like the timing was bad. It's been like a very long time that coaches have started becoming like in-game leaders, so they had to do it way earlier. Now like a lot of teams got fucked by it, especially Navi, for example. So yeah, personally, I don't know where I stand. You know, I feel that under the circumstances, it should be better for them not to make that particular change. 2 basic reasons why NIP lost this map. I felt like they needed to be more versatile. I think they need to be more aggressive on their CT side. But I don't think it's just that, because in this particular case, OpTic was playing very safe regardless. I think it's a matter of like those close rounds that happened. Perhaps they could have played a bit better. Honestly, I just think that they were outplayed by OpTic for the better part of that game. It's not like they were making some big mistakes. GODSENT. Yeah, I think they've improved a lot since the minor. I think that's pretty obvious. So about them, it's about getting a bit more depth and just getting like more practice in before the major. Fox in SK, I think I answered this 10 times. I think it's going to be fine for them. He's a good team player. Should NIP get Michaela back or Pith? I don't think that's like an issue. I think they're like the same team regardless. I don't think C9 needs roster changes just yet. I think they need more time to practice, and you know, right now a lot of it is revolving around Stewie, like him creating space for the team on the T side and so on. I think they're one of the teams that would like benefit from just practicing. Who do you have favored for the 2 major finalists now that SK have Fox? Still SK to be there. It's hard. You should never underestimate SK and them, like, you know, doing like good preparation and being strong at the major, but seeing them like in the final, that's really difficult, you know. I think it will depend a little bit on the matchups as well, who they get in the playoffs, if they manage to qualify, but I think they will for the playoffs at least. So it's not impossible. I think Astralis will be very strong. I expect VP to be strong, Navi as well, Dignitas probably. I mean, NIP if they qualify, OpTic. There's so many things. FaZe, even Gambit. Like Gambit, I was really pleased with what I saw from Gambit at DreamHack. You know, I think they can be like a dark horse. Let me play some background music. What's like Monster Cat? Is that like what I'm allowed to play? I'll put it really low. It's probably gonna be loud in the beginning. Sorry about that. Didn't think it through. So let's do this. I think this is like quite enough. Possibility of Inferno being introduced after the major? Yeah, probably. I think it's a good map. I like it. Yeah, let's do like the games are gonna start soon, so let me do that first. Sorry about some of the questions I missed. Let's do the games. Okay, OpTic Hellraisers. I have to go with OpTic no matter what. Like watching that game as well, they're just such a solid team. You know, perhaps avoid overpass against, you know, it is a strong map for them, but I mean, maybe they're better than, I don't know, actually don't avoid overpass. Avoid cobble, like try to play overpass or train. I think they can beat Hellraiser with those maps, and that's probably gonna be what's being played in the end. Oh, they actually like played 16-14 here. Dignitas G2. This is where Dignitas vetoes what? Cash and Train? I feel they have to veto Cash, but Train maybe not. Like, do you want to play G2 on Dust 2? That's the question for Dignitas. It's not impossible for G2 to beat them, especially if they get Dust, but I don't know. It's actually a tricky one. Dignitas has been struggling recently. This music is so shit, man. I hate WOB music. Isn't there like something mild that I can play and not have the VOD muted? So yeah, this is actually a very, very difficult one. Shox has been having a fucking insane tournament. I think he's the highest rated player. Yeah. So that's always like a big deal for... okay, it was against Vegas Squadron, so a bit inflated. But still in these two games. So yeah. Dignitas needs to play like better than they have so far, I feel like. They played like 3 fucking Mirage games. What's that shit? And they're definitely not gonna play that against G2. Because G2 will ban it. So maybe like Dignitas is just, you know, a bit shaky on Mirage. I'll go with Dignitas. I think they like have a deeper playbook than J2, so I'll stick with them. But that's like a, maybe not exactly a coin flip, but I would call it like 60-40 in favor of Dignitas. They're not really like big favorites. And with Tai Lu, I'm going with Envy. Like Tai Lu, like the 2 games that I've seen, like Train a little bit and the fucking Overpass game against OpTic, it's like they were almost dog shit. But then they beat C9 on Mirage. So people have been telling me that like C9 like messed it up a little bit. So yeah, I still think that even though Envy is in a slump, they've been looking like almost shit. I mean, not really shit, but not as good as they have. I think they have to beat Tai Lu though. I think they're gonna be good enough to beat Tai Lu. The only problem is, what does Tai Lu veto usually? Because Envy isn't good at that many maps. They can basically play Nuke, Cobble, and Dust 2. Where is this shit? Yeah. And Tai Lu played 3 different maps, so they remove Cash, Dust 2, Train, so yeah. They might end up on something like Cobble, which should be Envy's map. Unless they fucking start doing that shit where they, you know, force buy all the time and can't deal with some weird passive setup that Tai Lu throws. I don't think they should like get caught off guard by that. NIP Vega has to be NIP. That Mir guy, this guy is like pretty good. Yeah, this game was sick. Didn't see this game. This game, not that much either. But I mean, you can only do so much when you are weaker as a team. So maybe he'll get picked up by someone, maybe Flipside or something like that, if they want to make some changes. So yeah, definitely NIP here. CLG Cloud9. Cloud9, especially because it's a domestic matchup, but Cloud9 has been like really dominant against NA teams in general. You feel that win from CLG, I mean, that's been like more of a throw from Renegades. I mean, it was a throw for them from them initially, and then they just like got, you know, the pressure got to them, and CLG got all the confidence, and they managed to bring it back. The thing is, CLG hasn't been looking like they oh fucking hell, they like never beat them with these lineups. So yeah, there were a couple of close games though. I feel CLG looked way better at the qualifier than they have, like, you know, in the past couple of months. So, you know, they're not as shit as like I think everyone thought they will be coming into the qualifier. Even the Vega game, I mean, that was theirs for the taking, but, you know, they make like, they still make some like silly mistakes and lose those games. Today's games start in like 40 minutes. Mouse Immortals. I don't know. Like, the problem is, I'm not sold on Immortals just yet. I mean, sure, they got like 2 wins against Envy, who is struggling, and against Vega. It's like, Then like watching that game today against FaZe, you could see like the mistakes they were making. Not huge mistakes, small mistakes, but still. I also feel like their T side is, you know, really dependent a lot on individual plays. And Mouse is a team that can have very strong CT sides if the players like get rolling, right? So I feel that it's gonna come down to how Chris J and Nico play. Chris J, because he's like going head to head with Henny, and they're both like aggressive oppers, and Nico because he's just sick. I think he had a good game yesterday, so I feel like this might be one of those games where he just carries the team. But I'll just go with Immortals. I'll go with Immortals in this one. Also, whenever I predict against Mouse, they actually win. So I win either way. Either my prediction is right or Mouse makes the major and my boy Nico. So yeah, the maps can be a bit of an issue as well. I mean, you know, they do play similar maps, so they might end up with something like Cash, Dust 2, Train, you know. Neither team plays Nuke, so it's gonna be a game of chicken who vetoes it. Mouse has the advantage of being the higher seed, so they can choose whether they want to veto 3 maps or pick the side. So that's going to be interesting. I think they should have like a decent map, I mean, for both teams. Immortals vetoes Overpass, so maybe they like bet on Mouse vetoing Nuke, and then they try to get rid of a map like Dust 2, perhaps, if they don't want to play it against Mouse, and then go for something like Cash. The randomizer is going to be a factor as well. Yeah, I saw. Hey, YNkCSGO. Hey, guys. So yeah, is that all of the games? Yeah, it's only like 6 initial games. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen here. It's going to be super interesting in these last 3 games, man. We might get some like insane matchups to qualify for the major. There's going to be so much pressure on teams. It's going to be pretty crazy. So yeah, today is the last day. So yeah, let's do like 10-15 more minutes of just like Q&A, and then I'm gonna fuck off, get some food. In-game leader Mouse could get, yeah, Kerrigan would have been like, if they could have gotten Kerrigan, that would have been like the best pick they could get. I'm not really sure, like out of the blue, who can you get? You tell me. I'm not I don't know. Like, is Gob B the guy for them? I'm not sure if he's like the guy they need, or if they like he wants to play with them after what happened, or they want to play with him. So that's the thing. Like these days, like in-game leaders are fucking tough to find, like good ones. FaZe was struggling with that for a year until they got Kerrigan. Someone who is looking to become an analyst for something higher than ESCA main. Analyst? You mean analyst for a team? Or would Thompson be a good upgrade for Dennis? Yes. How on earth is Nico still stuck in trash bin mouse boards? I don't know. What are your thoughts about FaZe? Yeah, FaZe improved a lot with Kerrigan. It seems like they all like mesh together well in the team right now. So yeah, I think they're much improved, and they're gonna be even stronger with time to practice. Do you think that CS already peaked? I'm not sure if it. I think it will get bigger, but gradually. You know, we're not gonna have some. You know, I think it's just gonna have a steady rise probably. I don't think it's gonna like have a steep fall in the next 2 years. And at that point, you hope for Valve to like, you know, patch up the game, you know, roll out something like Source 2 or I don't know, or a new version, you know, to keep the people interested like they do with Dota. Who has better aim, Scream or Nico? I think they're like same level. Biggest surprise from the qualifiers? Probably GODSENT being 3-0. Dignitas struggling a little bit. The fact that Hellraisers have been playing really well. And that NAP has been 1 and 2. What got you into casting? I was just observing first. It just came up as an opportunity, but then I thought like there was, you know, a spot for me to fill at the desk, so then I just tried to do that, persuading people for a long time to give me a shot, and DreamHack did at the Cluj qualifiers. Tips on what to look in demos when reviewing them. If you're reviewing like pros to improve your game, basically just like look for positioning, look for like their decision making, depending on what's happening on the map, crosshair placement, like, and all that stuff. The angles they take if you're looking at CT side. For your own demos, like look at perhaps what you could have done differently when you die. Like, did you die because you made a silly mistake? Were you too aggressive? And all that stuff. I think NIP has good chances of making it still. They're, I mean, the strongest team here with, like, you know, OpTic and Dignitas. Hostage map in the map pool? I don't think so. Which map would I remove for Inferno Cobble? I think it needs like more work. There's almost nothing CTs can do like to fight map control and that stuff. Stairs didn't help all that much with holding B. Servers, I don't know, it seems like just team issues with players dropping. There needs to be like a LAN client for the major stuff. I think Device, yeah, at the moment probably the best player, but you know, it's hard to gauge all that stuff because, you know, you need a tournament. That's where the major, right? You need a tournament where everyone's gonna be like at their top shape, all the best teams are gonna be there, and then you see who's performing how. And we needs to change, probably players. It feels like they're like in a bad shape as a team, like, so they need like a change. I think there's gonna be like a French shuffle if G2, even if they make the major but get out of groups. I think they're gonna change stuff because that's just French people. Are we going to win against Tyloo later on? Yes, Nathan, I actually predicted that. Now let's do this. Oh, it's hard to keep up with all of these. Are OpTic now a serious team? Yeah, I think everyone's taking them seriously right now. VP skipping tournaments. I mean, it's their call, right? They want more time to practice. They feel like they need to change things and so on. And you know, they come to the tournament and bomb out. You know, what can you say? Like they just lost. It's their decision to make. Teams have like different preferences. That like OpTic, for example, is a team that they say like they really enjoy. That like they really improved from playing that many tournaments. You know, some teams hate it. Some like VP would like to have more time off, and I think like we're gonna see more teams go that way in 2017. OpTic thoughts. Yeah, very solid team, good fundamentals. Rush, like one of my favorite players to watch right now. You know, very like a very smart player, doesn't overextend. He's like the Rain of NA for me in a sense. What does Immortal need to be tier 1? I think they just like need more depth to their game. They need like, they're too individually based on the T side. I mean, they also had a roster change recently, so they didn't have as much time to practice, and they need more discipline, I feel like, in their play. How many hours the pros practice a day? I don't know. Probably a lot of DM before they start screaming and stuff. How do I imagine new envy? I don't know. I have no idea how they're gonna change stuff if it comes to a shuffle. There's like a lot of, you know, player A doesn't want to play with player B, so something that you think would be the best on paper probably can't happen in reality. Oscar to C9, I don't think they need that. I did prediction for today's games. Yeah, and Oscar doesn't want to move as well. Does FaZe have a chance of getting to semis? I think so. I'm very excited for this next major. I have no idea. Like, it's gonna be super interesting to see teams coming in after practice. You know, after having time to practice, how each team will look like. No one can know, obviously. You have no tournaments that you can, like, watch and see, oh, this team has been looking very strong coming into the tournament. Why do Renegades suck so much? Feels like they have a lot of like mental issues, right? I thought they would overcome that after like the good run at DreamHack Winter, but they still seem to like crumble at crucial moments, you know, and they still have some like, you know, fundamental mistakes they make from time to time. Which team do you think Peacemaker will end up coaching? I don't know. Probably an NA team, that makes the most sense. The map with on qualifiers. It's like the higher seed, so if the team came from the major and is playing a team from the minor, they have the higher seed and they can choose whether they want to be Team A or Team B. Team A gets 3 vetoes, Team B vetoes 2 maps but gets to pick the side. So yeah, the higher seed chooses whether they want to be Team A or Team B. You get 5 maps are banned, and then there's like between the two, 1 map is chosen randomly. And if the teams are the same seed, then there's a coin flip that decides like who gets to pick what. Too many NA tournaments in 2016. I'm not sure. I like NA tournaments. Like, NA crowds are always fun, and I like going to NA. But you know, in terms of like for the viewers, I'm not really sure. I don't know the numbers. I don't know like if there are that many EU viewers or what the thing is behind that. I think if anything, like sometimes we had tournaments too cramped, like too close to each other. So predictions on the VOD. I think some of the guys can like write it to you in chat. I'm doing this wrong. Let me like move it down. Now it's better. Free bracks. Yeah, I think you should free them all. Like 2 or 3 years are enough to make the point you want to make. Yeah, cash always gets wrecked by the randomizer. It does seem insane that like 1 times out of 9 or whatever, you know, you only get 1 cash out of 9 times. That does seem very improbable, does it? Who's gonna win ESL 1 Cologne 2017? iNation. UK scene. You just need players and need to have players who are willing to dedicate themselves to the game and practice hard and, you know, not argue all the time. All of your players are going to NA right now. Where is Katowice major in 2016? What do you mean? OpTic, they have the same chance of winning the next major as everyone else, pretty much, you know. It's gonna be open season. They still need to qualify first. OpTic and Hellraisers, probably like Cobble or Overpass. How drunk are you getting in DreamHack? I don't drink during events. Focus on my work, thank you. I think this is where I should put slow mode. This is being a bit crazy. I'll catch all the questions, just like people ask the same question 5 times. I'll get to it eventually. Besides E-League, which tournament organizer? I don't really know. I mean, everyone's been stepping up their game recently, you know. Like MLG doesn't do that many tournaments, but Columbus was pretty cool. DreamHack Masters Malmo was maybe even like the best tournament in 2016. It was like so sick. And that's where the Weatherman happened. I can't believe like no one did that after that. It's insane. Until like Face It and they had it for Oakland in the studio, so. I already answered the Immortals question. Just need more death. Serbia top 30 team in the future. Perhaps we have our own issues with mentality, so it's gonna be hard. Yeah, I think NIP has a good chance of still making it. I mean, you know, they're gonna beat Vega and then depends, like it would be, you know, the only thing that could hurt them probably is like meeting the loser of Dignitas and G2. That's gonna be tough. If you get that matchup, that's gonna fucking suck because, you know, both teams will be pretty strong. Cream Zolofmeister. Yeah, I think Fnatic can definitely like be a contender. I think their biggest problem is like having a good leader, like an in-game leader and stuff. Having leadership in that team. They have a lot of talent. That's not a problem for them. So they need to figure that shit out. Will Inferno be the most loved maps? Not by all teams, but by a lot of them. Can Automatic continue the type of form? I think it's like depends on the team as well. Because, you know, if the team is struggling, can't really carry by yourself. So he does seem to have become like one of the best players in NA. So yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Was Nico toxic? No, He was never toxic. One of the best guys to play with. Three teams, most likely. I don't know. Astralis, one. Maybe VP again. Who knows? Like, you can't really tell. There's so many strong teams, but that need practice and they're going to get it. Montenegrins need to improve on in CSGO. They need players. We'll have 3 bomb in major. I mean, seeing as how all of the other teams that are going to be there are improving so much, it's very difficult seeing Flipside make it again. But I mean, they've been always underestimated, and still, even in qualifiers, right? They always manage to qualify for the major, so you really shouldn't count them out. I have no idea if like DreamHack will get a major. They think Oscar will play ever again. Why not? Just like, I think like he might get picked up like either after this qualifier, some teams want to make changes, or after the major itself. Peacemaker could be going to C9, perhaps. I don't think they want a coach right now. I think they feel like they don't need a coach. Swiss system is alright. I just feel like for the major, we can't have best of ones anymore. You can't have a team get top 8 and a spot at the next major with winning 2 best of ones. I think that's just silly. Cap hat issues. I don't know. I don't think it's like that big of an issue. You know, it's just like as soon as that issue is raised, then you have to react to it, because you can't allow for even a smallest chance of players hearing the casters. So it's a bit excessive, it feels like, but you know, better be safe than sorry, I guess. German scene. What German scene? Do you think Samur is gay? I'm sure he's gay. I think all like girlfriend stuff is just a hoax. Nato as well has the perfect cover. Wife and 3 kids. No one would expect it, right? C9 does want a coach. Well, maybe then they get Peacemaker. What's the best characteristic a player should have in your opinion? Dedication, hard work. X-ray in tournaments. Yeah, I think like doing the replays without X-ray is awesome. I think that should be like the standard from now on. Like in terms of live games, it's like difficult for people to keep up perhaps. So I think just have it on for the live section and then just do a lot of replays without it. I think that's like the win-win situation. Do you have any pets? No. In-game leaders, FaZe. I think people put too much weight on an in-game leader with the emergence of seemingly non-in-game leaders with more firepower. I think the thing, I don't think Kerrigan himself was the problem in Astralis. I think it's just like they couldn't work well with each other anymore, right? The players weren't buying what he was selling, so they get someone else like Glaive, and then like they're all on the same page. And same thing happens for FaZe. Like FaZe was dying for an in-game leader, so that's one of those situations where like both teams benefited from the change, right? Energy already, like, I mean, disbanded. They already, like, they're not playing, like, the Germans are not in that team anymore. I saw somewhere it's like Kiev, Gobbi, Tabson, Legia, and Nex. That's not a bad team. That can work. Bright future from Nex. I mean, why not? I feel like he needs to play in a German team. And he needs to like be able to do whatever he wants, right? And have no pressure on him. I feel like there was perhaps too much pressure on him in Maus, like to perform, to help Nico out, and he just couldn't do it consistently. And I think that influenced, like the pressure influenced his decision making as well. He was making a lot of mistakes. I would like to coach right now, maybe at some point in the future. I have been asked like a few times, not too many, but I just don't want to do it at the moment. But your CS history as a player. Listen, let's not turn this into like a depressing stream. We had a good run, boys. The main issue like for CSGO and best of threes is the schedule. Like, that's basically the only issue, right? It takes much more time. It's a strain on all the people working as well. If you have 4 best of threes a day, that's like pretty, you know, for production, for talent, for everyone, you know, those are some long days. Like in Cologne, like when I was doing every game of the tournament for the major, like with that, like it was 8 best of 1s into 4 best of 3s a day. You know, you have like you basically like get up, shower, have food, go to the venue, work all day, go back, go straight to sleep. I mean, have a beer at the bar, you know, to wind down, and go like to sleep and all over around. I mean, and I didn't have that many breaks lately. I had them at ECS, for example, and it really does help. Like, you feel refreshed, you feel like you have more energy to work. You know, you're more focused. Like, yes, I mean, a lot of times people make comments like, yes, you're only on camera for like 10 minutes for the segment, but I mean, we have to watch the games, right? I have to know what I'm gonna talk about, and I have to be focused to like notice all the small things. You know, and we only see what you guys see. You know, we only see the observer feed as well, pretty much. So it can get pretty exhausting at times. Yeah, Stanislav in-game reading, it's like pretty good. I mean, they're good as a team in all departments, so I don't know, OpTic is a very interesting team to me in terms of like the personality of the players, right? They seem so mellow all the time. You know, obviously they're like, you know, passionate, they like to win, but it's just like watching them is like pretty weird. Anything picking up Sunny? I saw that he was like playing with Penta or something. Well, I'm not 100% sure about NRG. Maybe I like misread it somewhere. I don't know. What team was the biggest disappointment in 2016? Mouse. I mean, didn't really expect all that much. I mean, not all that much. You know, you always hope for more, but they like never had a good run, basically. Minus Dennis plus Oscar, no, too many players who need space in that case. Yeah, like best of 3 groups with 2 streams, I feel that's another way to go. I mean, that way you split like the stream, right? You can't really have like 2 desks and, you know, one stream will be without like analysis and all of that, but I don't think you lose viewers. You just don't have all viewers on one stream, you have them on 2. So I'm not sure what the thought process is behind that. You know, maybe allow viewers to watch every game so that they don't have to like make the decision to miss a game. So yeah, maybe that's what people are gonna do. I saw like DSL announcing that they're gonna like shorten the days of tournaments. So, I mean, that means either 2 streams or more games in a day. And I think they already have very busy schedules. Do you understand Dota? Yeah, I used to watch Dota a lot. I'm a big fan. I play it as well. Couldn't follow as much this year because of all the tournaments. Yeah, I think Alex did a great job at the major in Boston. He's just very good at his job in general. But we must have to change players most likely at this point. Seems like they're beyond the point of like changing stuff within the game. Is Naf of Serbian origin? I don't think so. He probably has like a grandpa was somewhere from around here, I guess, or something like that. Liquid, I don't think they'll make the group out of groups at the major at this point. But you never know. You haven't seen them for a long time, so. I don't know if it's true that device calling on some maps. I don't think it is. He probably just gives like information, you know, and gives suggestions. You know, obviously players who like have great understanding of the game, they can see things on the map, and you always like those players are the best to have as an in-game leader because you can't be everywhere as an in-game leader, right? You can't see everything, so those players feeding you relevant info is like very important for you. You know, makes it a lot easier for you to call. French Dream Team. Shocks. Five Shocks? I'm kidding. Probably Shocks, Kenny, MBK, Apex, and maybe I want to say RPK because you need like another like support type of a player, not someone who's gonna take space, but not sure if he's like the best guy for that role, you know. Maybe you would say Happy. If it's Happy, he has to change his playstyle a little bit. Maybe Kyo. CLG, if they lose in the qualifier, I think they're bound to make some roster changes for 2017, like. NA teams, I think like the number of teams and stuff, and you look at it like you have like what, OpTic, SK, C9, Immortals, those are the 4 best teams in like NA. I think those are all teams that can, you know, do well against the Europeans. The problem is after those 4 there's a big gap, and in EU you have more teams after the top 4, if you can even like pinpoint top 4. Biggest surprise of 2016 and breakout team, OpTic. Device best player in the world at the moment? Probably, yeah, in terms of form. And their run at both T-League and here. And ECS. Yeah, they can spread it out, but then it's again like... I'm not gonna answer your Immortals question for the 5th time. Was Bogdan right? I think he was. Australian teams, I don't know. Whether it's like leadership in terms of someone like being able to rally the troops. It feels like they crumble too much, you know. Someone needs to like, you know, tell them to get their shit together. Okay, boys, like the games are starting like very soon. I'm gonna tune in and watch a little bit like the stream, get some food. So yeah, another solid day. I think we'll see how we're gonna do it for tomorrow. There's gonna be like probably a lot of good games, so maybe I split it across 2 days, the games from today or something. So yeah, it's getting better. We have like good banners that link to good stuff, good title, no FPS drops, everything is good. So yeah, have a good one, boys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you tomorrow, I think, same time.